Salvi deep into the left field corner, and fair, and a home run. Number 311. And now Diaz launches it to left field. Duran has no chance. All he can do is watch it go. Elias Diaz puts the Royals back out in front.
High fly, left field, driving back Collins, all the way back to the wall, leaping up. He can't get it. It is gone. He goes oppo. Jaron Duran strikes again. What a series he's having. And he's put the Red Sox on top, opposite field into the bullpen for a 2-run shot.
You know, they didn't break the streak. They didn't win a game in the series, folks. You know, they're now 500 at home. I'm old enough to remember on Monday when we said this team was 13-10 in home games, but it's the road games that are killing them. I'm old enough to remember that because that was only 3 days ago. Now they're 500 at home after the sweep by the Red Sox, who, in the Royals' defense, have been playing maybe the best baseball in all of baseball. You've got the continuity with the coaching staff, first of all, with the Red Sox, that have been in there, in place, hitting coaches, manager, bench coach, third base coach, first base coach, all solidified and haven't gone anywhere for a while. And just everybody on that team playing at a high level, pitching staff, especially the offense, has been just murdering the baseball. And Jaron Duran has been playing like one of the best players in all of baseball this year. So in the Royals' defense, how do you expect to beat a team that has everything clicking for them, just everything going their way? You can't possibly stop that steamboat, you know? That is a gravy train with biscuit wheels. That's a snowball. That's an avalanche that's heading your way of baseball greatness. You can't possibly beat that team.
It's not. You can't.
It's impossible.
Duran, even with a phenomenal series, is still hitting a $195. That's how bad he was going into.
Oh, I thought he was batting .950.
Yeah.
I didn't see the 1 in front of the 9.5. I
know,
thought it was .950. I thought he was like almost got a hit literally every time at bat. This series can be described as Duran.
Yeah. I was there last night.
You were there last night. We've got a lot of stuff to get into.
Semi-fun.
Yeah, well,
actually, I had a good time. But
it's getting kind of hard to believe things are going to get better.
Yeah. We do have a lot of stuff to talk about today, and it won't just be talking about how bad the Royals are. We have some actual topics to discuss around this baseball team that now sits 10 games under 500. They're at the 50-game mark. Fun little cutoffs, right? The end of April, 40 games, 50 games, end of June, Memorial Day, right? We're pretty much there now. And they are at a season low 10 games under 500. They are at a season low 8.5 games out of first place, a season low 4.5 games out of the wild card. And they get ready for the Mariners coming to town this weekend, where they will see Gilbert, Kirby, and Wu. But that's okay because they've missed other teams' aces and they haven't won those games. So maybe seeing the best three from a particular team's rotation will work out in their favor. They're right-handers, so we're all good in the hood, right? All good in the Royals neighborhood. So we'll talk some Royals today. We'll actually get into, again, some actual topics around the Royals, not just yell and scream and be annoyed. We'll talk about the next steps for the Chiefs and Rashee Rice. We've talked about Rashee Rice and not being trustworthy, but we'll get into what are the options with Rashee Rice. We know there's three options, really. It's cut him, stay the course with one final year, or take an incredible hometown Rashee Rice dumbass discount, his dumbassery, giving you the discount to give him a couple of year extension, and then hope that the next 4 years and 2 months will be different than him violating probation in the first 10 months. You could certainly do that. That is an option, okay? Just as hope and a prayer is an option. Just as being unemployed and waiting for a job that's $200K. Like, you know what? I'm holding out. You know what? I'm Cousin Eddie. I'm holding out for a management position.
I'm holding out for the president.
I'm holding out.
I figured at some point enough people will vote for me. I'm not even going to run.
It's a pretty lucrative job.
I figured people will write me in.
That's right.
Just enough people will.
Absolutely. I'm going by the name of Mickey Mouse, the most written in presidential vote in history.
It's time to put the mouse in the White House.
That's exactly right. Make America Mickey again. Mama. That's what the Royals were asking for as they rolled over and had the Red Sox rub their belly for 3 games. But we'll talk Royals. We'll be joined by and Rice. We'll be joined by Kent Swanson coming up at 11 o'clock. KC Sports Network, KC Laboratory Podcast. Again, we'll talk a little Chiefs as what the next steps are. Sports or Leisure coming up in the 1 o'clock hour. A number of other things to talk about. Joe Burrow had his comments yesterday and said exactly what I would want my quarterback to say. We'll talk about those things. Clint Kubiak opening up OTAs and giving a timeline, if you want to call it that, an initial prognosis of the quarterback situation with Cousins and Mendoza, of who will start and what the timeline would be to decide who will be starting week number 1 versus whoever they play.
Both. It's going to be a Wildcat situation.
Why not? Why not do the college Missouri thing where one guy gets the first half, one guy gets the second half, or exchange series, first series, second series?
Well, Kirk Cousins gets the first half, and then Mendoza gets the second half, but it's all handoffs.
And he just hands off, and then Clint Kubiak is like, well, I mean, he just handed.
Look at the numbers.
Look at what Cousins did in the first half versus what Mendoza did. Mendoza only completed like 2 passes. He threw the ball twice, but he only had 2 completions. Cousins had many completions.
What are we doing here?
Cousins had 15 completions. He threw the ball 40 times, though. But he had 15 to 2. What are we talking about here? So we'll discuss that. I also want to look at how good Rashee Rice is when he's on the field, because that's sort of been conversation. But when he's out there, right? And I didn't see this on Monday, but I thought it was pretty cool because there's been so much negativity the last couple of days around the Chiefs that on Monday, Kenneth Walker put out a video, and it's a pretty cool, inspirational video for him. And I didn't hear about this post-game Super Bowl because I wasn't really paying attention to post-game comments at the Super Bowl. Because the Super Bowl was done, they do the trophy celebration, the comments on the stage, and then I went to bed. I didn't. It wasn't the Chiefs where I'm listening to the post-game press conference with all the individual players.
Agreed.
But Super Bowl MVP, but he put some clips there that he talked about post-game, and then it transitions in that video to now he's with the Chiefs. And it's pretty cool of him. What I didn't know was almost quitting football and essentially being told you can't play football anymore in high school. So I thought that was pretty cool. I want to play that because we need some positivity and some fun, inspirational things. And some NBA talk we can get into. Does Wemby have to continue to be an alien, or do they just simply need to get Harper or Fox back? One of the two. They had neither of them last night, and Wemby wasn't an alien. And, Harkenstein, Bulldogenstein got there and was physical in the game. And the Thunder won the game, which I fully expected them to do. Champions don't just go 0-2 in the Western Conference Finals. They were going to find a way to win that game. They did, and now it heads back to San Antonio. The Spurs did their job. They got a game. Cavs have to do their job tonight by winning one, and we'll see if a team can have an epic collapse like that and come back and win a series, or even come back and win a game 2 nights later. We'll get into that as well. 913-912-4810, that Cleveland and New York game coming up tonight, 7 o'clock, right here on Sports Radio 810 WHB. Sporting KC show at 6, NBA pregame 6:30, and then game 2 there in New York, Cleveland, and New York, the Cavs and the Knicks. You were at the game last night.
Yeah, it was.
And Michael, we missed a huge opportunity, Michael. We missed a huge opportunity because Sterling was going to be in a glass case of emotions, Michael, if it wasn't for Steven Cruz giving up the Jaron Duran home run, because this is what I was thinking. Sterling goes out to the game. What would we hear today if Sterling went to his first game and they won, right? Michael, we know what it would be, right? What would it be?
I'm the good luck charm.
Good luck charm, right?
I'm the slump buster, baby.
But here's the dilemma. Diaz's home run is what gave him the win. And he's like, I don't need Diaz in the lineup. I don't ever need to see Diaz. Why is this guy in the lineup? I don't ever need to see this third catcher. And fine, he's good defensively. He doesn't need to ever bat for this team.
I don't recall.
And we missed that opportunity, Steven Cruz, of Sterling going, I'm the good luck charm. But what about Diaz? Well, it was lucky, but it was really me. Diaz
Only
came through
when
because of
I'm
me.
there.
That's right. Diaz came through because I was there, even though he's already got 2 home runs on the season.
He
but
pounded that ball, too.
You were there. I haven't gone to a game this year because we've been packed with youth baseball. Typically, we go once July and August hit because that's when youth baseball is done at the end of June for his season.
When they're 40 games below 500, too.
What? Why you clowning the prospects, dude?
Clowning the Royals.
Oh, sorry. I thought you were. I thought you watched our league games lately.
Your son's baseball team is good.
I thought you were talking. Well, not in league. Our league games are atrocious, man. Our little kids are freaking ring chasers. That's what they are. There's some little punk ring chasers. Oh, league game. Who cares? Oh, there's a ring on the line. Let's go play good baseball. Buh. You were there last night.
Yeah, it was cool. The people that brought us had a front row on the Red Sox dugout.
You sound like you enjoyed yourself last night.
I did. I'm a little.
I love it.
A little. It's fun. The first game was like a fan this year. It's awesome.
Yeah.
You get to go have a
Awesome.
a great time, and it was cool being that close, obviously, and where the Red Sox come out. I had a whole bunch of Red Sox fans around me because obviously you're right by their dugout.
Yeah.
No, my voice is actually tired. I was talking to this older gentleman the entire night because what a cool guy. I cannot believe
Red Sox fan or Royals fan?
Red Sox guy, dating back to basically he lives in Minnesota, but it was part of the switch from the Boston Braves to Atlanta, and then with the Minnesota. So there's this crazy connection of how he's a Red Sox fan. So I'm learning about this. He was at Hank Aaron's 715th home run. The one
Did he
that
run
broke
on the field?
It wasn't the guy that ran on the field. It wasn't him.
That
I
would
know.
have been even cooler.
Actually, I should have asked.
He should have said that.
Maybe he
He
probably
should
would
have
have
said,
told
I
me.
was the guy right there, the guy patting him on the back. That was me.
Yeah, he probably would have said that. So maybe I guess I don't know. He could have been that guy.
Yeah.
He could have been.
What if he's just like so tired of telling that story? It's like, I don't need to tell somebody else I was
But
out there.
I
It happened.
I felt bad. I cussed because I didn't think he was that old. Like, he didn't look that old. And so
Yeah.
he goes, I was there. I was in college. And I go, no bleeping way. I go, sorry, I didn't mean to cuss, but
He
you
was
caught.
offended?
No, but like you caught me off guard.
Yeah.
I can't. So he was 70 something, obviously, maybe even early 80s, but late 70s, and he was there when Hank Aaron. So for me, I was talking to Curtis before the show. You look back, how many things will we be able to say to kids 40 years from now? Like, hey, kids, I was at the Royals wild card game when Salvi hit that down the line.
You and 500,000 of your friends were there.
I have the picture. I have the picture now.
Well, I can go and take a picture off of
No, it's
Getty
me and my
Images,
dad
too.
now. It's me and my dad. But, like, I just found that so cool how sports connects you, even in a loss,
amazing.
even in a game where, bleep Boston and bleep the big cities, all that stuff. It was such a cool, almost bonding experience between fandoms of, I can't believe you were there for that historic moment. And it was really cool. So
Was he there with Pudge's home run? Or did he pass the ticket across the table and go, I got to go see about a girl?
what was funny was we were actually talking a little bit about the pitch clock. And he goes, I brought up no more. He goes, it's the exact reason why. He goes, it was horrible back in the day because Nomar Garcia took too long.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
That's great that he said that.
Yeah, it
with
was-
Nomar and his stupid batting gloves.
And so it was a great night, and it's, to me, even in a loss, the Royals can still be fun to go out and enjoy, even the frustration that permeates through this team right now. But it was nice to see Salvi hit one out, hugging the line. Elias Diaz was nice to see. Cags doing his thing.
Punch the ball. You didn't hear the commentary with Hosmer and Cags.
No.
Right on that particular shot down the left field line. Ryan and Hosmer were talking about when he would face a guy like that that's coming in and it's really tough, he'd just punch one down between the third baseman and the left field line. The third base line and the third baseman. And Cags does that, and Lefevre goes, and that ball lands between the third baseman and the third base line.
It was great to see.
And it was funny. Hosmer was like, "Hey, Cags, leave those to me. Don't be doing that. Leave those to old Uncle Eric. All right, don't be taking my role."
But I think what I really took away from being there and even seeing it, this team's just simply not good enough. Michael Wacha's went out and dealt. He was outstanding. Michael Wacha was phenomenal. I thought. I mean, the amount of strikeouts he was getting is.
Michael Wacha's the picture of the Corvette parked next to the trailer park. He and Bobby Witt, the Corvette and the Lamborghini, park right next to the trailer. It's like, well, I mean, maybe the resources are used differently.
But like Nick Lofton, who had such a good start, and I was very high on, has now started to come back to Nick Lofton level, and defensively was brutal. He had a couple plays defensively. Only one was an error, but we had another one that you're just sitting here going, I think the majority of second basemen make. This team just simply isn't good enough, I think, is the moral of the story. You know, even a pinch runner, you go to Michael Massey, who's slow. Like, it's just not a I constructed team.
There was one thing that bothered me, not one thing, but a loss is a loss. You give up a home run to Jarren Duran. They bring the fences in for them to lose. Shocker.
And by the way, you only scored 3 runs.
100%, right. But they get a guy on first late, and Isbell's up to bunt him over.
Yes.
We have seen this so often this year, and Lefevre talked about it on Monday because I think the Red Sox bunted to sacrifice. Oh, and that was my complaint about why was Garcia playing so far back when the first bunt was shown and he pulled the bat back, and it's the number 9 hitter. They got first and second, nobody out, and the number 9 hitter's up there, and he pulls the bat back because it was a ball. And they're talking about, well, this guy's going to lay down the bunt. He lays down the bunt, and Garcia, it seems like he's running from left field.
Yeah.
And it was perfectly placed, but I shouldn't even say it was perfectly placed. Like, he hit it pretty hard.
It was placed.
It was placed, but he bunted it pretty hard down the third base line, making Garcia field it so you can sacrifice yourself. But it was a hit because he placed it so well. But he wasn't bunting while moving towards first base. He simply sat there, bunted the ball. Once it was off the bat, he took off. And Lefevre talked about that. And how many times have we seen this year with the Royals and their sacrifice bunts, I'm using air quotes, to try to do both? It happened again last night. Isbell, sacrifice, but I'm going to sacrifice for a base hit.
Yeah.
Okay, well, now you just hit it right back to the pitcher.
And also,
the
how many
dude's out at
times
second.
has he actually been safe on a...
Maybe one. I don't even remember it this year.
1 out of 10, maybe.
But how many times has he not been able to put the bunt down?
A lot.
About 5 or 6 this year. And he's supposed to be the guy that's the bunter. That this guy, if it comes to a bunt, you got a guy on third that can run. Isbell's up there. Boom, safety squeeze. You can even suicide squeeze. He's going to put it in play. And yet he's not doing that. And then he's trying to sacrifice and bunt for a base hit at the same time. Either sacrifice or bunt for a base hit. Don't try to do both. Don't try to do both. If you are sacrificing yourself, put it in a great spot and then try to run as fast as you can. Instead of trying to drag it, and all you did was hit it back to the pitcher too hard, and now Carter's out at second.
It's the same thing. This team does not do the little things well.
Yes, you've talked about
they
it. I
just
thought about that
don't do the little things well.
Yeah.
Even they got a little booty knock from Marte in the 9th against Araldis.
Yes.
What's funny is even Araldis, I think, almost laughed of like, that's all you're going to get is that booty knock.
Yeah.
You're not doing anything else.
And it was a good at bat from Carter.
It was a good at bat. Yeah,
it was close to a check swing. He did not check. He went around. It was unfortunate, but he went around. It was a good at bat. He and Cags both have had good at bats against Chapman.
Against a guy with a .51 ERA.
Yeah, and neither of them resulted in a hit, but both of them resulted in 3-2 counts where you made that guy work. So I at least appreciated that. One of the frustrations, though, that comes from this, and maybe we take a timeout and do this. We'll take a timeout. We'll get into what the next steps are for the Chiefs here either later this hour or the next hour. But one of the things that we watched in this series was a decision that was made or was not made in the offseason. And we'll talk about how that came to fruition and what the reality of the situation was in these previous 3 games. More so next.
FanDuel is giving you better payouts on same-game parlays all NBA playoffs long. With more ways to build and more value every time you play, you can stack your picks for way bigger wins every single game, every single matchup, and every single moment. From spreads to player points to threes and more. Put it all into one same-game parlay and go for bigger payouts. If you've not been watching the NBA playoffs, what are you doing? The Spurs and OKC, that series has been electric. That is tied 1-1 with OKC getting it done last night. And again, as we mentioned tonight, there's a game. You listen to it right here on Sports Radio 810 as well. But you have the Knicks with the crazy comeback against the Cavs. Can the Cavalanche happen yet again? We'll find out, and the choice is up to you. So if you are betting same-game parlays this NBA postseason, bet them on FanDuel. More options, better payouts, all NBA playoffs long. Head to FanDuel.com/local to get started.
21 plus and present in Missouri. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
All right, we'll continue right here on Sports Radio 810 WHB. Jason Anderson with you, Sterling Holmes, Michael Darcy, The Zone on a Thursday edition. We'll talk with Kent Swanson, KC Sports Network, KC Laboratory Podcast. Our guest coming up at 11 o'clock, Sports or Leisure in the 1 o'clock hour. We talked earlier this year about Brendan Donovan and the trade that wasn't made, and we look at some of the pitchers that are down in the minor leagues, and whether it's Blake Mitchell that is the ultimate three-result player right now in the minors, and would it have been worth somebody that could make an impact in 28 or 29 to help you with a player this year in a guy like Brendan Donovan, next couple of years, this year and next year? Would it have been worth it to make that move? Clearly, the Royals did not feel like it was worth it to make that move. They also didn't feel it was worth it to make the move for Jarren Duran for Cole Ragans. And Ragans being the centerpiece around that the Red Sox were really wanting Ragans. It was Ragans. It was Ragans. And the Royals were saying it's not just for Jarren Duran if you want Ragans. It's going to cost you a whole lot more than Jarren Duran. And look, I'm okay with the Royals having an asking price and staying true to what that asking price is, to where you don't just give in and say, well, this is what we want. All right, fine, we're going to trade him for whatever, you will give us. Okay, that's fine. Sometimes the best trades are the ones that you don't make. We've talked about that before with Zach Greinke that was being traded to the Nationals, and he said no thank you. And then they traded him to the Brewers, and you got Alcides and Lorenzo Cain. Best non-trade the Royals ever made was Zach Greinke to the Nationals.
Do we ever know who was on that?
I don't remember. There's probably some report now that's out there of who the people involved.
Yeah.
But I'm going to guess that the Royals don't have that 14 and 15.
Oh, no,
run.
I agree.
Right, yeah.
I agree. I think it'd be fun to know.
Yeah, it is amazing. It's like and the Royals had the number 2 pick in 2 different years where we're like, man, amazing player that's at the top, and they're not going to get a chance to get him because they've got the number 2 pick, and that was Justin Upton went 1 and Alex Gordon went 2. Adley Rutschman went 1 and Bobby Witt went 2.
Yeah.
And now we look back like, thank God both those things happened.
Correct.
That the Royals got Gordo. Upton was a really good player in his career, but what Gordon meant to the team, the town, and that run, obviously. But Duran has 3 years of team control left after this year. So, he's a free agent after 2029. So 27, 28, 29, he's going through arbitration, so he'll be making more money. Cole Ragans, you've got cost control on him because of the contract that you've signed, but the Royals felt like this is a guy that is at the core of what they want to do moving forward with their pitching staff. So while he had the injuries last year, and he had the Tommy John, and again, I don't call it 2 different Tommy Johns, okay? That's like saying that Rashee Rice has had 2 different major knee surgeries. Well, he had the ACL, but then he had to go clean it up, a year later. Well, he had the Tommy John, and then they needed to clean up whatever was going on in the Tommy John because it wasn't a good surgery or the rehab or whatever it is. He didn't have 2 separate Tommy John surgeries. But he did have to go under the knife twice for his left elbow. But he has battled injuries along the way outside of 2024. And it seems like they are looking at Cole Ragans and saying, we feel like he's going to be closer the next 2 or 3 years to 2024 than he was to prior to 2024 and since 2024. So we can't give this guy up because he has true ace potential. But we watched it in real time this weekend, or the last few days. And again, it's worth pointing out, like you did, that Duran, is still batting 195 after what he did this weekend with only extra base hits. 2 home runs, a double and a triple. I think a couple doubles because he had the double that was then thrown out at third with the great relay. He led the league the last 2 years in triples, did Duran. He led the league 2 years ago in doubles and triples. His OPS has dropped off the last 3 years. 834 2 years ago, 774 last year, and he's OPSing at 628. So the concern would be he's on the other side of his career because he's 29 now. But the Royals were aggressively pursuing him to put in left field, to play a pretty good left field, and also be a guy that you would hope could be a building block along with Bobby and Vinny and Michael and hopefully Cags and the next couple of years Salvi currently there, but building block will throw Carter in there without Cole Reagans. But they didn't do that. And I think it's ironic isn't the word, coincidental maybe, illuminating that the decision that you had to hold on to Cole Reagans, and maybe it turns out to be great. Maybe Cole Reagans returns from the IL and he goes out there and looks like Scooball over the next 2 or 3 months, and the Royals go 17-1 when Cole Reagans is pitching. You're like, wow, they made the playoffs because Cole Reagans was unbelievable. He won the Cy Young, and the Royals are like, see, told you, Duran's still batting .230. Or maybe this is Cole Reagans' career the next couple of years. Or maybe he signed that contract that people went, wow, that's all the Royals have to pay Cole Reagans? I mean, I know it's a part of being cost control, and he was going through arbitration, but, boy, I feel like they got half of what they would have had to pay him. And maybe Cole Reagans and his agent were like, let's go ahead and take this contract right now, Cole, because this is generational changing money at, $14, $15 million over the next couple of years. Because if you get injured right now and never pitch again, what you've made is all you got. This is 15 that's going to come your way no matter what. It's in the pocketbooks. And then after that, if you're still healthy, now you're going to go make wealth, generational money. But maybe there's a reason why he said, let's sign this deal and let's go cost control and not like hold out and go through arbitration. Well, going through arbitration is going to matter on what you did that year. Well, he'd be pretty SOL this past offseason going through arbitration with what he did. And this year with the injuries, if he continues that the rest of the year, going through arbitration again and having to deal with the injuries, and the Royals then saying, well, we're not giving him this money because of, look at all the injuries. He's unreliable. He's like Rashee Rice, only with injuries. Unreliable. Being a better decision maker away from the field, but not reliable. But we see it in real hand, Sterling, in real time, firsthand. I'm going to combine those. Real hand, not fake hand, but in hand time. Anyway, Jarren Duran goes out there and hits 2 home runs and has 2 great plays in left field on Tuesday night. And they essentially win the game with a couple of home runs by Duran.
Yeah.
And Lefevre brought it up. I know you didn't listen to the broadcast, but Lefevre brought it up as Chapman and the Red Sox were giving high fives, and they were showing Jarren Duran and said, Jarren Duran hits that home run to make it 7-1 or 7-2, whatever it was, on Tuesday night. And he said, by hitting that home run, Chapman sat back down.
Yeah.
And they didn't have to use him, which made him available tonight to go and protect a 1-run lead. That home run helped them use Chapman today. So even in a game that they were probably already going to win, the home run helped them win the next night with another home run from him and the defense he played. He was a big reason why they won those 2 games while Cole Reagans is on the IL. It may be the right decision moving forward, but it was right front and center of the Royals feeling like Cole Reagans is a core, untouchable building block and not worth it to trade for a left fielder position player like Jarren Duran.
And they kept both Bubic and Reagans, who both have some of the similar concerns. Now, Bubic wasn't going to get you Duran, but it was probably, for the most part, going to get you Taylor Ward until the Orioles did their thing.
Yeah.
But the fact they didn't do either and they kept both, and now they're both injured, I think is kind of a surprise to no one. It's a little bit like Rashee Rice. Him getting in trouble was a surprise to no one. You're just semi-frustrated, yet you're like, yeah, but of course he is. Of course Bubic and Reagans are on the IL. Of course they are.
Mm-hmm.
What have they shown you? That's a little bit what they do. And that's where my frustration lies, I think, a lot with this team is they went in with both, and I think the most likely outcome has occurred. Now, maybe Bubic only misses 2 starts, basically, right? Would it be 2 starts?
Yeah.
Maybe 3. And totally fine. But you didn't make a move, and the offense has been struggling.
Yeah.
You could have got a semi-middle-of-the-order bat. I mean, Taylor Ward's been raking.
Yeah.
Right? Isaac Collins has
He's been better than Jaron Duran.
not been.
Yeah.
And again, I like the Isaac Collins move, but
Yeah, I do
at
too.
that point, you're trying to win on the margins, not necessarily trying to get that.
Because you also gave up a guy who went under the knife in Zerpa.
Yeah.
Who's having Tommy John. So I don't think he stays with the Royals, and the UCL is perfectly fine the rest of the season just because he's with the Brewers. It's not like the Brewers don't know what they're doing with pitchers. So you won that one, really, no matter what Collins gives. Even
Sure.
if Collins just gives you generic play, you wouldn't have Zerpa anyway.
And it's still an upgrade over what the outfield was last year.
Right, yep.
But the thing with Duran that I still find I wish the Royals were more aggressive on, I know he struggled this year, but clearly he liked playing at the K or just the Royals pitchers. I don't know. It could be a combination of
Could be
both.
both.
Maybe he likes the batter's eye. But you knew you were going to get great base running, phenomenal base running. You knew you were going to get phenomenal defense. And for the most part, you knew you were going to get a guy who can be your plug-and-play leadoff hitter that extends your lineup to where Garcia can now, or if you want Garcia to bad leadoff in Duran's third or fourth, you still could do that. Because what's been the question this entire year? Who the hell is going to bat third or fourth because 3-4 hitters have been brutal? Well, Duran would have made that, even with his struggles,
yeah.
easier.
Or you could have put him at leadoff and Garcia, unless you already said this.
Yeah,
Sorry,
you're good.
I was
That's-
looking at something else. My apologies.
And again, you never know. Yeah, he struggled this year, but would he have struggled in Kansas City?
But what about leadoff, though?
I just, you knew you had to make something that was going to hurt. You knew that.
Yep.
And I've somewhat been on record. I like Cole Reagan. This is not a Cole Reagan slander. It's just, I feel at times we've put too much emphasis on one phenomenal year, one and a half-ish phenomenal year, and we always make excuses for bad outings for him.
Yes.
I feel like bad outings get excused from him more than anyone else when his inconsistencies abound.
And the pitch count rises, and he'll go through games, and it's 5 innings, 100 pitches, and it's like, well, he looked good at times. Okay, well, look good more often if you're going to be an ace.
He's more, almost more Danny Duffy than he is like Clayton Kershaw, right? Where you're just the consistent guy, you go out and do whatever, or DeGrom or one of those guys. I wish it was DeGrom.
Yeah.
Even with the injuries, but even with the injuries included, because DeGrom, when he went out, he very rarely had bad outings. It feels like every other time for Cole Reagan, it's 7 innings, no runs, or it's 4 innings, 100 pitches, and 6 runs given up. Well, that's your ace? That's your superstar? That's your untouchable? I feel like some guys have gotten the love from either the coaching staff, the team, or even the fans, and Cole Reagan seems to be that guy where if you criticize him, apparently you dislike the guy, or you don't think he's good. But if he is an ace, he cannot be that inconsistent.
Yeah, it would have. I mean, Grayson Rodriguez is what they got for Taylor Ward, the Angels. So it wasn't exactly like they were holding out for, stud players. He's a free agent after this year, so you'd then have to sign him, Taylor Ward.
Yeah.
After this year, where Isaac Collins has team control, so you had to give up Angel Zerpa. But you've also got a guy that is leading the league in walks, leading the league in doubles. He's only got 2 home runs this year, but he had 36 last year. Getting on base at 415 this year, Taylor Ward.
That's what he does.
And again, 47 walks leading the league. He had 75 last year. I don't know the last time a Royals player had 70-plus walks in a season. I mean, somebody would have to go back and look. I bet it's been a while since somebody has had 70-plus walks in a season. And he's pacing for 100 walks, even more than that, since we're only 50 games in. I'm talking about 130 walks he's pacing for with 47 already this year. He's got more walks than strikeouts.
For example, Vinny had 49 last year.
Yeah. I'd have to look at that at the break. But the Royals made decisions that players in 28 and 29 were more important than Brendan Donovan this year, and made decisions that Cole Reagan's was more important than Jaron Duran, and Isaac Collins and Nick Mears for Zerpa was a better combination than giving up a guy who, Grayson Rodriguez, that, didn't even pitch in 2025. Has pitched so far this year 3 innings and has given up 7 earned runs.
You got shelled.
Yeah. So he was a sub-4 ERA guy in 2024 with 116 innings and 130 strikeouts, and it's like, okay, this guy's got some promise and 20 starts. So what is it going to take to get Taylor Ward for a year? That's what it would have taken. Maybe Chris Bubich. But Chris Bubich you only have this year anyway.
Yeah.
So Chris Bubich is going to sign a big deal at the end of the season, and I don't – and also, by the way, the Royals need to make a decision when Chris Bubich comes back as to whether or not he's a starter or a reliever, because – that's one of the things I brought up with Monty yesterday, was maybe some guys are just built for the bullpen. And he mentioned that he was a starter his whole career, came up. With the Reds, he was a starter. He said, when I got moved to the bullpen, it was like my arm just responded differently. Like it was the best thing. Like my arm felt better constantly, way more out of the bullpen than it did when I was a starter on a regular routine, right? I know every 5 or 6 days I'm pitching, so I can do this, I can do that. Your arm, you would think it'd be easier on your arm. But some guys aren't made to throw 80, 90 pitches every 5 days. Sometimes they're made to throw 25 pitches and then sit for a day, and then throw 20 pitches and then sit for 2 days, or have 15 and 20 in back-to-back days and then sit for a day or two and have a day off. Some guys are built for that. He was amazing out of the bullpen, was Bubich. When he comes back, they have to decide, every year he's been a starter, he's been injured. Now, maybe he would have been injured out of the bullpen because he only played half a season coming back from Tommy John and they put him in the bullpen.
Sure.
Maybe eventually he would have been injured. But I know for a fact, starting the season as a starter, he's ended up on the IL.
The issue is I don't think the Royals have that luxury this year.
Yeah. He's 3 for 3 starting the season as a starter and hitting the IL and not finishing the season at all, not pitching in September in either of the previous two.
Just to me, though, the Royals don't have that luxury because of the injuries to their pitching staff or the bad. Like Bailey Falter, you can't, unless you're just punting the season. Bailey Falter can't be. If you want to say Avila, you can make a case, but Bergert's injured, obviously, and that was a major killer. You almost have to leave Bubich as a starter. I don't think you can really have of any year. This is not the year to say he's a reliever. And by the way, since you don't have team control, if he gets injured again, you're kind of just sorry, but
you couldn't even trade him at that point if he gets injured again.
No, correct.
Like it's one thing if you're out of it and you're selling in what will be a seller's market. So that should be good for the Royals because so many teams are in it and expecting to be in it that a buyer is going to be tough because you might have to pay a pretty penny. That if Bubich is healthy and you're losing and it's a rental player, you might maybe get a little bit more premium on that because everybody else is buying too and not many sellers.
And that's the real conversation of when does this team turn to sellers?
They're in the cellar right now.
Do you want to guess the last player that walked 70-plus times?
MJ Melendez.
I'll give you the year. It was 2021.
That's why I guessed MJ Melendez because I was just joking. But he did have MJ had a season where he did walk like 50 or 60 times or something. 2021, was it Andrew Benintendi?
It was not.
Oh, that's a good guess. Benintendi would have been my guess.
Was it, Witt? Merrifield?
Nope. It was Carlos Santana.
Oh, dumbass.
Who walked
Of course it was.
times.
Of course it was Carlos
and then
Santana.
Before, the only other player to do it in the 2000s was Billy Butler in 2013.
There you go.
Yeah.
And Taylor Ward did it last year and is pacing to walk 130 times this year, roughly. So, that would have been nice, and it would have cost you a guy that didn't even pitch all of last year. And great. But again, this guy, he could be a really good pitcher one day. He could be. Who knows? But maybe it cost you Angel Zerpa. Who knows? Maybe it was a choice between Zerpa to get Taylor Ward or Zerpa to get Isaac Collins and Mears. And they're like, you know what? We're getting team control with these guys. We'll take our chances with these two as opposed to 1 year with Taylor Ward. Okay, that's a choice you make. It's a choice you make by not trading for Brendan Donovan, and it's a choice you make for not trading for Jarren Duran. If you've got Donovan at second and Duran in left field and no Cole Reagans and no Jackson Churio in the future, how much better are you right now? I don't know. You're probably better. It would be pretty unfortunate if you're sitting, 21 and 29 still with that lineup. That'd be rough. Or maybe it's Zerpa, Reagans, Churio in the offseason for Duran, Ward, Donovan on your team.
Yeah.
Well, how much better are you at that point when Brendan Donovan plays the way that he does? Taylor Ward is just an on-base machine that hit 32 home runs last year and, is leading the league in doubles. In the last 2 years, Duran has, led the league in triples and doubles 2 years ago. Like, you got those guys that play the way that the Royals have talked about playing.
Yeah. I guess you get to
move
the
the line.
Royals for Duran. They weren't hungry like the Wolf.
Well, there it is. I was waiting for it. I've been leading into it the whole time, just wondering when that would happen. They're hungry for a win right now, and the Wolf is howling, is what it is, because it is past midnight, and this pumpkin is riding along no longer with the carriage.
It's getting late early.
That ruby that slipper, that glass slipper, whatever it is. It's been off their foot for a couple of years now. We'll take a time. We're done with that. We'll take a time out. We'll come back. Ken Swanson will join us coming up at 11 o'clock. More Zone next. You know, man, if you're out there and you are getting up in age, whether that be 30s, 40s, 50s, older, maybe you don't feel the same way that you did back in the day when you were in your early 20s, mid-20s, early 30s, because guys start losing 2 to 3% of their testosterone production every year, starting in their early to mid-30s. That thing gradually accumulates, and year over year over year, next thing you know, maybe it's a half. Maybe it's a third of what it used to be back in the day. And you feel that with maybe putting on weight, the production at the gym, motivation, energy, brain fog, all of these things can be related to low testosterone. Heartland Men's Health is a great spot for you to go and get that checked out. And not only the low testosterone, but Heartland Men's Health is helping men go further with 4 targeted body composition plans featuring GH peptides, NAD+, GLP-1, PDA, and more, which is designed to boost energy, support metabolism, enhance recovery, accelerate fat loss. And when you combine that with low T treatments, most men notice real improvements with those symptoms that all could be related to low testosterone and other areas of your body composition that isn't the same that it was when you were younger. Heartland Men's Health, successfully treating men in the Kansas City area. Schedule a consult with Heartland Men's Health. They'll do your lab work, have your results within 30 minutes. You'll know right then what your testosterone level is. And then a licensed medical provider will review the results with you, discuss your options, help you make the decision together with the medical team. Cost of the appointment, it's only $99, and that includes medical consult, T, and PSA test. And if you sign up for testosterone treatment the day of your appointment, your visit, it's free. They have 3 locations to serve you: Overland Park, Independence between Blue Springs and Lee Summit, and North Kansas City. Call them today at 844-447-6600. Tell them you heard about it right here on Sports Radio 810 WHB, 844-447-6600, or visit heartlandmenshealth.com.
Featured therapies are compounded and have not been evaluated nor approved by the FDA. Provider prescription required. See website for details.
All right, wrap it up this hour. We'll talk with Ken Swanson coming up at 11 o'clock. We'll get into some other Chiefs discussions and go through the different players that we think could be options for the Chiefs, if they even have to go that route, which I think most of us, certainly on this show, think that would be the case. Not that they will have to go that route. Or not that they will go that route, I should say. So we'll talk with Ken Swanson coming up next. We'll also get back into the Royals because I want to talk about buying or selling. Are they in that position already of discussing selling and what that market would look like, what the landscape looks like, and if J.J. Piccolo should be putting out feelers already? We'll discuss that today before the show is over as well. Sports or Leisure at 1 o'clock. Ken Swanson coming up next.
Kent Swanson of KCSN is brought to you by Dick Ray Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Are you planning to spend money on a new AC or furnace repair this year? Dick Ray can help. Show us a 2025 HVAC repair invoice from any company, and we'll credit that amount towards a new system up to $2,500. Call 913-DICK-RAY or go to dickray.com for details.
Thursday edition of The Zone right here on Sports Radio 810 WHB. Coming up at 1 o'clock. A little sports or leisure on a Thursday. Let's talk some Chiefs football. Whether you like it or not, too bad. We're talking about the Chiefs here on Sports Radio 810 WHB with our man from KCSN, KC Laboratory Podcast. It is Kent Swanson joining us here in The Zone on a Thursday. Kent, welcome in. How are you, sir?
Jason, I'm doing great. Excited to be here. Excited to be talking some Chiefs football. Actually, you know what? I don't know if that is true, actually, this week. This is one of those weeks where I'm not sure. I'm excited to be talking Chiefs football.
Well, we're excited that it's your week because there was one person we were talking about who would know. So from your experience in county jail, what do you think, like, what's Rashee Rice doing, like, right now at, like, 11 o'clock on a random Thursday with your experience of also serving time there?
Yeah, so the upper body workouts are going to be flowing pretty consistently. So I do think that his upper body strength's going to just be through the roof when he gets back.
Easier to get off the line.
Encouraging.
Yeah,
easier to get off the line. Maybe he can be a little bit more man coverage because of it. Just having to kind of MacGyver something for his knee, a wrap for his knee, I'm sure is probably going to be a challenge for him, but hopefully he can overcome.
I imagine the two different knee rehabs are like Rocky IV, where Patrick Mahomes is Drago and Rashee Rice is Rocky training for that fight. He's having to just carry like logs and stuff and figure out ways, and Mahomes has all the new technology and not the steroid part of it, but the other parts of it. That's what I'm imagining the different rehabs looking like right now.
Yeah, I don't think there's like cryogenic chambers in jail, unfortunately. I don't know.
Yeah,
how that's gonna go. We'll see.
So let's talk about that. People have weighed in their opinion on this. I think the most common sentiment is, well, you can't trust him moving forward. What do you make of this? He's serving the 30 days that he was going to have to serve anyway. It was for a marijuana positive test, which is legal in Missouri, not legal in Texas, and not legal for him because it's part of his probation. But where do you come down and look at and view, in your opinion, on this entire saga for the last 48 hours?
Oh, it's such a frustrating addition to this whole thing. And you brought the word trust up, and for so many reasons, Rashee Rice has proven to be unreliable. I think, holding holding our breath a little bit this whole offseason to make sure that, Rashee Rice doesn't get in trouble or anything. And, I think, some of the signs this early in this, this year, it didn't look like he really had a ton of remorse or regard for anything that he'd kind of done to this point. Just kind of, out and about. There were allegations earlier this summer or this year as well that got wiped away, but it just never felt like he's really shown a ton of remorse for everything that has happened in this saga, and that was alarming and that was concerning, right? Well, I think we've kind of seen and proven it time and time again that he doesn't care enough about this profession. He doesn't care enough about the opportunity. He doesn't care about the second, third, fourth chances that he is going to receive in this sport, because someone, I'm sure, will pay him next year.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't know if it's the Kansas City Chiefs. So you talk about a lack of trust there. I mean, I think there was a lack of trust that's been lost well before this. This was kind of the final nail in the coffin. But if you even just take away some of the character concerns, he's been hurt a lot, and he's been dealing with a lot of injuries as well. He had injuries heading into his into his rookie year that he was nursing. So it's not just the reliability for him extends well beyond just this exhausting, frustrating saga with regards to his off field. The medical side of things is I think at this point just as concerning as well.
Yeah, and especially now that he had that cleanup with the loose bodies in the knee, and we joke about the rehab of what it would look like, but obviously there's not going to be that rehab there at the county jail as opposed to if he were at the Chiefs facility. And the trust and accountability part of it that we've discussed a couple of times on the air the last couple of days, but it goes back to last year for me and the second part of the season. And I remember talking about this. And there were two parts of the conversation that we were having around Rashee Rice when he would struggle in a game and he wouldn't talk to the media. Have a great game and he's at the podium and smiling and loving life. Then he has a couple of drop passes, the Royals lose, and he leaves the locker room early. And some, not all, but some of the responses were, well, the media feels so entitled that, who cares? What's he going to say? Oh, I dropped the ball. Who cares? Whatever. Yeah, I dropped the ball. Next time I'm not going to drop the ball, right? Okay, that's fine. But it's a part of standing there and being accountable as one of the older players, like it or not, in that receiver room, along with Juju, and Hollywood, but one of the older players there in that receiving room, and even the leaving early and giving a little smirk to the media that was standing there waiting to enter the locker room. And I remember getting some pushback on that from the media part of it. And there was some pushback when I connected it to, if there's no accountability there with playing football, is there going to be accountability while he's got 5 years of probation? And then it was, well, that's unfair, to connect those. But maybe there is no connection there. But I think it's all sort of the entire story of if even as a football player that mistakes happen on the field, you drop a pass, whatever, you guys are losing. He's not the reason they're losing, but other guys are talking and staying and that have, had a bad game or something, and they're discussing it, and Rashee Rice is jetting and getting out of there before the media can get in there. I think there's a level of holding yourself accountable, and then doing that away from the field for 5 years was asking a lot.
Well, how long has it been?
10 months.
10 months, less than one.
10 months.
Yep. Well, and I think there's some. Maddie talked about it on our show last night. I think there's some legit concern that he's exposed himself significantly to the rule of law in Texas a little bit more. Some of his options are. I think a judge could really, if he violates it again, a judge could really harm his outlook of being in the public. He could be back in prison, having to essentially serve some of his, sentence from the previous issue.
Yeah, I mean, if he throws out the plea deal and says, well, now we're just going to get into the actual sentencing. I mean, the minimum is 2 years. So I mean, that's a possibility that it's like, no, now you're actually going to prison for a number of months, not just 30 days in a county jail.
So, it's been a very loud 10 months.
Yeah.
And not all of it has necessarily been illegal or anything like that, but it's definitely been a very loud 10 months. And it's a hard time believing that the next, 4 years aren't going to have any noise whatsoever, especially at this point. Now, maybe this 30 days is good for him.
Yeah.
I
hope that's
maybe.
the case.
Yeah, I think, you want, I hope it's good for him and he, comes out of this the other side better. I have a hard time, I don't know if I would be the one to trust that, I don't know. If I'm the Chiefs from a football perspective. I mean, he picked a really terrible time to have a knee cleanup. And then the terrible time became even worse when the 30-day, it was a bad time. He was going to miss all of the summer. He was going to miss the whole summer program with this knee cleanup. And now he's going to have to try to rehab for 30 days from jail and be back and ready for training camp. Good luck.
I mean, Dieter brought up this morning about a knee cleanup that he went through, and he was like, look, he said if he's in there for that thing's going to be stiff as a board when he gets out. And he said, I wouldn't be surprised, that there may have to be another procedure to go in and do some things there and sort of start over to a degree. But even if that isn't the case, like you get out and what you were going to be missing a couple of months, but that couple of months was with the rehab going on with the Chiefs trainers and things like that. And now you're waiting 30 days, and it might actually put you further behind by your body heals itself on its own. And if it's healing wrong, it can then be an issue for you if you've got 30 days of healing wrong on its own.
Yeah. I mean, and you're right up against training camp. So is he going to have a slow start to training camp? Is he going to have a training camp at all? Is he going to be ready for week one? All of these questions on the football side of things,
right,
on the physical ability side of things, are now in question. Your wide receiver one, on top of everything else going on, the lack of trust that this organization should have in this player, if they don't already. And it's the physical side of things that are equally as alarming when you're looking at how he's going to be able to contribute to this team in 2026. It is just, it's an alarming pattern.
Ken Swanson is our guest, KC Sports Network, KC Laboratory Podcast. Okay, so I think there are three options here. Maybe there are more, but I've come up with three options, and I'm wondering what you would do and what do you think the Chiefs will do. So the three options here are you play out this season and whatever happens, happens, and then you move on. You cut them before, the season even starts, or you work out maybe a crazy team-friendly couple-year extension because his dumbassery costing him millions of dollars, that maybe he just takes a bird in the hand of some guaranteed dollars to get back on probably the right side of, his budget. What would you do? What do you think the Chiefs do?
I think the Chiefs should let him walk after this season. I don't want to be in the Rashee Rice business of even trying to get a deal done for him. I don't want to throw any kind of money at him whatsoever. I don't think the juice is worth the squeeze because beyond just like everything we've talked about, I don't want to give him a dime. I don't think the Chiefs should be the team that should try to do that. I know that they've benefited in the past. I think they, with Tyreek Hill, I feel like they kind of they kind of leveraged some of the questions around him and were able to get a deal for him taken care of. I don't think I would do that with Rashee Rice at this point. I don't even know how you bake in the offsets on this thing for jail time served.
That's a good point.
I don't know how you even broach this at all. Now, maybe it gets to the point where you can start doing one-year deals with them, but I don't think it's going to get to that point. I think some team will offer him a decent amount of money on a multi-year deal because he is that talented. I don't want to be in the Rashee Rice business after 2026.
Yeah. What do you think the Chiefs do?
I think they move on. I think they
move on. At the end of this year?
At the end of this year. I think they will let this whole thing play out and let the process play itself out. And then I think in 2026 they're moving on. So I think that's probably the case. At this point, they kind of have to see what they have with him. This whole receiver room, he's the best player, kind of built around him. He's going to be a guy that sees a ton of targets. He's going to be a guy that gets a lot of opportunities if he's healthy. They've built this offense around him before, and they're going to have to try to do it again. And at this point in May, it's going to be hard to find somebody that can truly come in and be a centerpiece. So good luck, everyone. I think they roll with him this year.
Now, you had mentioned that you wouldn't extend him, you wouldn't go that route or anything like that. Would you, considering you specifically, not the Chiefs, but would you consider just cutting him, cut your losses, move on, and go and work the free agency and piece the room together and not find a perfect one-for-one Rashee Rice and here's the next guy? Like when they traded Tyreek Hill, they had to go and piece it together to a degree. Would you consider cutting him and just moving on?
Probably not. I think as frustrated as I am, part of me is just done with them. But it depends on if you feel like you have someone that can come in and make any kind of impact. And I just don't know if there's somebody out there, unless you're making a big swing on a player like A.J. Brown. If you are going in and grabbing, a big player like that, then maybe you could move on from Rashee Rice. But the problem for the Chiefs is they don't have the cap space to sign their rookie class right now. So I don't know what kind of big moves in the receiver room they can even make. You know, we talk about like Stephon Diggs. I don't know if they can afford Stephon Diggs. I don't know how much cap space they are ultimately going to free up in 2026 by whatever extension they give, whatever restructure they do, that frees up enough money for them to pay their rookie class and then maybe have some flexibility, you know, with their cap space afterwards. Who knows how much they're really going to have and what kind of move they're going to be able to make. And, you know, okay, so you can trade for New England's Kayshon Boutte for a 6th-round pick. That's not someone that's coming in and changing the math. He's another, you know, he's another, you know, X-type receiver, vertical-type receiver like Tyquan Thornton. So I just don't see a way in which the Chiefs are most likely going to be able to even afford a difference maker unless they're doing something crazy, you know, here in the next, you know, post-June 1, you know, and to really free up a ton of cap space.
I just, I think that's where you get into the issue is they've kind of put themselves in this position to where their hands are tied to a degree where Rashee Rice becomes an important piece because they did not address that. The other part of it to me is, you know, we hear the Chiefs talk about culture and, you know, the culture here. And last year didn't feel like the culture when, you know, the team was struggling and guys were like, yeah, I'm just not really caring and quitting on plays. And it's easy to talk about culture when you're winning, when it's an easy decision. When it's a more difficult decision is when the culture actually matters and how much you truly believe in that particular culture. And I think at some point you just say, you know, enough is enough. Being a Kansas City Chiefs should be a privilege. Being in the NFL is a privilege. And if you're not going to take it seriously, neither are we. And we will find somebody to play that spot that wants to be here, that's going to work hard, that's going to make sure they're out on the field as often as they can, and not going to do things away from the facility that's going to cost them playing time and potentially suspensions or more suspensions, or be selfish in, you know, the decisions that he was making. To me, at some point, it's like, you know, prove that you're a team that has the great culture around the organization and say, you know what, Rashee, we're done, we're moving on. And we'll find somebody else out there. We'll see what we can do. But if not, you know, this is a message to everybody in the organization that just because you can win and you're an okay player, I mean, really, the other question is he good enough to put up with all this? Just because that happens doesn't mean that we're going to continue having to deal with this.
Yeah, I don't foresee the Chiefs actually, you know, making that stance. I would be stunned because, and the truth is if Rashee Rice was released today, he would get claimed from jail. I mean, he would be. Someone would sign him. Someone would already be ready to add him to their roster. A lot of teams would probably already be ready to add into their roster. And, you know, there's always this, you know, dynamic within football culture because, like, I do think there's, you know, there is a football culture that you can have, and then there is, you know, there are some, you know, some players that can have some issues outside of the field. And to a degree, sometimes, like, I do think, you know, a lot of these coaches believe that football is something that gives, you know, some people that may otherwise not have an opportunity to be part of an organization, a culture. It gives them a chance to, you know, find themselves and see if they can, you know, right some things that are going through their personal lives. And I agree that, you know, I think Rashee Rice is outstayed his welcome here personally. But I don't think the organization will look at this, especially with the line that they're trying to toe right now. The high wire act they're trying to navigate, transitioning from this dynasty run to, you know, the next wave of the Mahomes era and ushering that in. It's a challenge right now financially, and I think they've kind of painted themselves, and they've very much painted themselves into a corner. They didn't invest in a receiver at all, and here we are, and you were holding on for dear life, hoping Rashee Rice would be able to play, and now they're learning their lesson too right now.
Yeah, I wonder if the timing of it was, a couple of weeks before. Do they make a run at Juwan Jennings? Then no idea if that would be the case. Maybe they're in the exact same position and they're saying we're fine. Ken Swanson's our guest. Let's talk about the schedule. We haven't had you on to discuss that. What do you make of what we saw from the schedule? Did the Chiefs get a good schedule, bad schedule? Did they get a kiss? Did they get screwed? What do you make of the schedule that we saw release for the Chiefs?
Well, I love that they're hosting Denver in week 1 just to watch Denver burn. I think that's hilarious. Just they're losing their minds out there in Denver over the fact that a team that is going to play each other home and home for the foreseeable future until the division goes away.
Yeah.
Just the audacity to play one of those games at home in Arrowhead was hilarious. I don't love the week 5 bye, but that back half of the schedule is going to be a gauntlet.
Yeah.
At least on paper, it looks, week 12 through, 17, you go Bills, Rams, Bengals, Patriots, Niners, Chargers. That is an absolute gauntlet. If the Chiefs, hold serve there, they are they're going to be in a good position to be that 1 seed yet again. But what an absolute, and Bills, Rams back-to-back,
Oh, yeah.
back-to-back Thursdays on the road.
Yeah, then Cincinnati on the road.
And then the Bengals on the road.
Yeah.
That's December. We'll see what the Bengals look like in December. They normally don't look great. But, it's an absolute gauntlet in the back half. And I don't think they did any favors that second half of the season, that's for sure.
Yeah, I look at it and I'm like, I feel like the Chiefs need to be 5-0 heading to Seattle because of the schedule, how it really, really toughens up. Because they go, from Indianapolis until Buffalo, or New England in week 15. They're at home 3 times over 11 weeks, and 2 of those road games are Miami and Vegas, and then another home game with the Chargers. You got to be able to hold serve in those games against Denver, Indianapolis, and the Chargers, and then take care of Miami and Vegas. There's an element that I look at and go, man, they need to be 5-0, which is tough because there's such an unknown about what Patrick Mahomes will look like and if he's going to be healthy and what the team looks like early on in the season. But because of that gauntlet at the end of the year, I look at it almost they need to be 5-0, and then I think there's a real conversation we may be having coming out of that Cincinnati game on the road and going, the Chiefs need to go 3 or 4 down the stretch to make sure that they are in the playoffs because of how tough that schedule can be with some of those road games with Seattle and Denver, and then at Buffalo, at LA, and at Cincinnati, then even home for New England and San Francisco. The middle is so daunting that I feel like the beginning and the end need to be where they make the most hay.
Yeah, there that little run right before week 12. There's a little bit of a breather there too. If they go Jets, Falcons, Cardinals, there's a chance. There's a chance that the Chiefs are 8-2, 9-1 heading into the gauntlet. There is a legitimate chance that they can do that. That would just require taking care of business against the teams that they are going to be favored to beat, and then splitting with Denver and Seattle on the road. It's 9-1, and then you can kind of go for that back half from there, and we'll see.
Yeah,
that gauntlet's huge.
Yeah, and after that Denver game, there is as you mentioned, there is that little bit of a break of the Jets at home, at Atlanta, and then Arizona at home, and even that one road trip to Atlanta. It's the week after the Falcons are playing in Spain. They didn't give the Falcons a bye week after Spain. They gave them the Chiefs at home and then a bye week. So the Chiefs get a little bit of a break with that one too. That they're playing a team that's played at that point 9 weeks in a row, and the most recent one would be in Spain. And we know some of that international travel, how it can mess you up. So we'll see what ends up happening with that. Do you have a quick reaction record for the Chiefs next year? Looking at the schedule.
Yeah, 12-5. I feel 12-5 right now. I'm gonna be bullish on this team. All the noise, I still think this is a good football team, and they have the best player on the planet, and I think we're underselling that a little bit. So give me 12-5.
All right, I'll take it right now. I went 11-6, but I also had them losing all 3 of those road games at Buffalo, at LA, at Cincinnati, and also losing to Seattle and Denver on the road. I'm hoping that I'm a little more conservative with some of their losses on the road as opposed to going and finding a way to win one or two of those games. We'll see what ends up happening. Kent Swanson, KC Sports Network, KC Laboratory Podcast. Kent, you're the man as always. Appreciate it, brother. We will talk in a couple of weeks as at that point we'll be 2 weeks away from Rasheed being released. So thank you, sir. Appreciate it. From jail, I mean, not from the Chiefs. Sorry.
Hopefully it's less eventful.
Let's hope that's the case. There is a Kent Swanson, KC Sports Network, KC Laboratory Podcast, released from jail. Jail, not released from the Chiefs.
I chortled.
Yeah. So there's a big difference between those two. We'll take a timeout. We'll come back, continue rolling. I do want to talk about what the options may be here for the Chiefs. I'm going to go through and we'll go through and look at different guys that we may say are preference for the Chiefs to go out and
about
sign
6'3", right?
Yeah, yep, roughly.
Yeah, you're
roughly.
about 6'3", right? So yeah,
6'3", 190. I run sub 4'5", sub 5'5". I mean, sub 6'5". Hopefully a sub 6'5". Me and Tom Brady. Get out there and run a little bit. You know what I mean? I will catch the ball. I won't be open, but if you throw it to me and I'm open, I will catch it. You scheme me open, Andy, I'll catch the ball. Maybe not how fast Patrick throws it. It's been a while. But yeah, I would not put myself as an option for the Chiefs.
Just want to make sure.
Yes, I would like to see them win games. But I will gladly take the game check if they want to throw me out there. We'll take a timeout, come back, continue rolling. We'll get into that. Some names that we would like if they have to go down the route, and they may have to do it anyway, for finding a replacement for Rasheed Rice or just adding to this room. More Zone next. All right, we continue right here on Sports Radio 810 WHB. Jason Anderson with you, Sterling Holmes, Michael Darcy. Let's go through some names because names are fun. Names. Let's do some names here. Let's go through some of the players that may be out there available for the Chiefs if, which they won't, but if they were to say, you know what, enough is enough. Because it's not only, Sterling, that we look at it and say, well, if this doesn't fall under the personal conduct policy, then, the league isn't going to suspend him for what could be viewed as double jeopardy, suspending him for something you've already suspended him for. And all he was forced to do was serve the time he was going to serve anyway. He's just decided to do it now. And if the failed drug test, if they get the results and it is not at the 150 mark, that is the NFL's standard, then he would not have failed that drug test with the NFL. So outside of all of those things, right, that we even wonder if he's available, what I have said, I'm on record, we all have agreed that I'd cut him, I'd move on. Yeah. Is the juice worth the squeeze? Not to me. But if they do, I think they're already in need of signing somebody because we've talked about, I think Juju's on the team. Not yet, but I think he will be.
I think that rice is overcooked.
I think it probably is. Juju, I think, will be back. But I don't think that's a one-for-one because I think Juju was probably needed to be back anyway. So they needed somebody in the room before the Rashee Rice issue. And maybe that forces the hand, quote-unquote, of the Chiefs to where they don't make a move because culture only matters when it's easy to them, apparently. Now, when it's tough, that you got to make some decisions and some hard choices of what you do with somebody that you can't trust, and then you have to then trust from the second he gets out of jail until the rest of the season that he won't do something else to break his probation. Good luck with that. You can wish in one hand and you know what in the other and see which one fills up first.
The wish will.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah,
it's always the wish. The wish fills up in your hand first in that. So let's go through some names if they get to that point. Do you want to go we didn't even say if there's a top 2, 3, 4, 5, just some names. I'll just say the name that I would like, and I think it's as close to maybe a one-for-one of what Rashee Rice brings to the table. If you have Xavier Worthy, that you're planning on doing some different things with him that you couldn't do last year because of the shoulder injury. Travis Kelce is returning. Tyquan Thornton may be more a part of the offense and doing some things, which I was, hoping he would be last year. We saw what the offense was doing when he was on the field. Hopefully Cyrus Allen is good enough to play. Hopefully Jalen Royals, a full year in the system, is good enough to play. But as close to a quote-unquote one-for-one in what they do, my number one would be Deebo Samuel for the Chiefs to go out and sign. It would be a little more difficult because he's probably the most expensive of the free agent receivers right now. But that's who I would spend the money on. If I had the money and if I had my druthers and choices, and it'd be Deebo.
I think he's my number one as well. The money is the issue with him. I think that's the obvious one. I think I'm out on Stephon Diggs.
I'm out on Diggs, yeah.
Tyreek's intriguing, but that's, again, a very late move. That's middle of the season. Doesn't help you early.
And even if it's middle of the season, does he look anywhere near like he's looked the last couple of years?
There's only one other name that I think is a difference maker.
Mm-hmm.
Like D-Hop, not a difference maker. We've seen that.
No, thank you.
Curtis Samuel, fine player, but not a difference maker. Noah Brown, Jahad Dodson. Hey, there's a 25-year-old who's a Super Bowl champion, Sky Moore.
Whoa, go get that guy. He can help punt returns, too.
Former second-rounder, too.
There
Pedigree, right?
Yeah, pedigree. Yeah. Chiefs like pedigree.
I think the guy who I would want the most based on the contract and how I think would play out is Keenan Allen.
Okay.
I would love Keenan Allen. I don't think it's going to happen. I would be surprised if Keenan, who spent all this time in L.A., obviously a little stint in Chicago, but mostly L.A., was like, yeah, let's go to Kansas City.
And he really wasn't interested in going to – and maybe the Chiefs weren't interested in him, but it didn't seem like there was interest on his side of signing with the Chiefs.
I like Keenan Allen a lot. I think he's a great player. I think he'd be awesome in the slot. He's very tough. He would probably be my –
much more affordable.
Like, realistically, that'd be with the money constraints, probably number one. But I think Deebo, you almost need him at this point. And I think you're right. He fits the Rice roll very well.
So why are you guys out on Stephon Diggs? I'm not saying that I love or hate the idea of bringing Debo, but the contract scares me. And Stephon Diggs, the guy's got his own off-the-field issues, but clearly that's not an issue for the Chiefs.
Yeah, well, if you're moving on from Rice, is sort of, I think you're in this boat if you say, we've got to move on from Rashee Rice. If you keep Rashee Rice, then you're not doing it. You're probably just going Juju.
I know you didn't mean to, but I like the boat joke you just made.
Oh, yeah, for Stephon Diggs. Yeah, sorry, I didn't do it.
So is the off-the-field issues the reason you'd be out on Diggs?
Yeah, I just don't want, like, the things you've heard about him, like, even as a teammate or being around the facilities and things like that. I don't know of any, like, specific things that are going on. I remember one video when he was in Minnesota and they were joking about who's the player you wouldn't want to date your sister, and every single person they asked said Stephon Diggs. Oh, Stephon, hell no. No, Stephon's got to stay way away from anybody in my family. Like, damn, that's a teammate. And every single answer was Stephon. Like, okay, those guys kind of know him there, but, you know, there's also the boat thing of what took place there. Now, the lawsuit with the chef, turns out, you know, the judge agreed with Stephon Diggs. And there were some real issues with the chef's testimony and things she said took place or wasn't paid, and then, like, actually had text messages of acknowledging payment. So, yeah, there were some issues with that. But I just don't want to deal with that. And I don't think it's that much different than Debo's contract. I think Stephon may be year to year, but I think the yearly and the guaranteed might be, if you have to give Debo a 2-year deal and Stephon Diggs a 1-year deal, I think it'd be close to the yearly average in guaranteed dollars, only you double it for Debo, and it would only be, you know, for that 1 year, like probably 1 year, 12 or 13 for Stephon Diggs, and maybe 2 years, 24 to 26 for Debo, and roughly the guaranteed dollars would be, you know, the same, maybe $8 million guaranteed for Stephon and $16 million guaranteed for Debo over 2 years. And I'm just throwing, you know, a couple of numbers that I think would be in the range of what they may be looking for.
Both of those players kind of wore out their former teams. I know Debo Samuel's done it far fewer times than Stephon. Is this Stephon Diggs' 4th team in 4 years?
It's a good call.
It's got to be around. I mean, he was with the Bills. Then
Texans.
he went to the Texans. Then he was
Patriots.
on the Patriots. 4th
and
team.
Then now whoever he ends up with. Yeah.
That is a
that
risk.
That would be fourth team in 4 years.
I'll tell you what. It might be his 4th team in 4 years. He's producing on the field. It's just, are you willing to put up with the headache?
Yeah. Debo had a better year last year with Washington after the last couple of years in San Francisco, or at least the year before in San Francisco when he had 51 receptions, 600 yards. He responded in Washington with 72 receptions. Ended up having 5 touchdowns last year as well.
He really had that one phenomenal year,
and
everyone thinks of him as that guy. Yeah. And I felt he's been a little overrated for a little, and maybe overrated is a strong word, but I think, 'cause I think now he's probably properly rated. But after that year, it felt like everyone was like, Debo's a, you know,
he could be a number 1, and he's a running back and a wide receiver.
Yeah, it got a little overblown.
But what's Rice known for? Rice is known for the bubble screens, yards after catch, the receptions from behind the line of scrimmage or from 0 to 9 yards. That's what Rashee Rice has essentially done with the Kansas City Chiefs. I mean, last year, Rashee Rice's 43 receptions and 310 yards of his season total was behind the line of scrimmage or 0 to 9 yards. And Debo's last year, 53 receptions, 363 yards. Behind the line of scrimmage or 0 to 9 yards. Again, that's 53 receptions to 43, Debo to Rashee Rice. 363 yards to 310 yards, Debo to Rashee Rice. Yards after catch total, 363 yards, but yards after catch in those receptions was 409 because he's catching the ball behind the line of scrimmage. Rashee Rice's yards after catch was 323 with his 310 yards receiving in those scenarios because he's catching the ball behind the line of scrimmage. And Rashee Rice's career yards after catch per reception is 8.0. He's had 8.1, 7.7, and last year was 8.1. Last year for Debo, it dropped to 6.5. But the previous 2 years for Debo was higher than any of Rashee Rice's career highs at 8.2 and 8.7. It dropped last year, but what does it look like?
So did the starting quarterback in Washington.
So did the starting quarterback as well. So, you know, he might be slower. Now his miles per hour last year was the slowest it's been in his career at under 20 miles an hour in some of his top-end speed. I'm not getting him for top-end speed. That's what I've got Xavier Worthy. It's what I've got Tyquan. It's what I've got Cyrus Allen for.
Yeah.
I'm getting somebody that plays the Rashee Rice bubble screen, quick slants behind the line of scrimmage, handoffs, things like that they've used Rashee Rice to put in that part of their offense. If that's what you like about show me the Rashee Rice that runs the full route tree. You're not replacing a full route tree guy. You're not doing that. You're replacing the bubble screen and slant guy. Now you're replacing it with a more expensive player with Debo that has been less productive when they've been on the field the last 3 years.
I think you bring in Debo, that would show you probably don't have a lot of faith in Royals.
I don't have faith in the Royals right now at all.
But if you bring in Juju...
Oh, Jalen, sorry.
If you bring in Juju, I think that would show that they think Royals can be... And maybe it doesn't matter at all because they'd think that whatever happens, they'll keep Rice and they'll just blindly trust him yet again. But to me, I think that there's the difference. Now, the monetary factor is going to be a huge constraint because if you have to bring in Debo, you are going into the Creed, Humphrey, probably Karlaftis. Trey Smith.
Yeah, I think Creed and Trey is what you would have to look at to extend if you want to do that. And you may have to do that anyway just to get your rookie class under wraps. A guy that I put at number 2, Keenan Allen was my number 3.
Okay.
A guy that I put at number 2 and I think would be affordable as well. So if we're looking at also what the price is, I think this guy would be affordable because he's 33 years old. I think it'd be a 1-year deal probably for like $5 million is Brandon Cooks. And, he goes from, what was it, New Orleans to Buffalo last year.
Dude, he's a gun for hire, man.
He is, absolutely. He's always been that. The guy, teams have spent more first-rounders on Brandon Cooks than any player in history. The original first-rounder, trading a first-rounder, trading a first-rounder. But last year, for Brandon Cooks, and this is more of an overall route runner and receiver rather than just behind the line of scrimmage 0 to 9 yards, and much more affordable than Rashee Rice, or Debo, I mean. I would even go and look at Brandon Cooks even if you keep Rashee Rice in terms of depth in your wide receiver room. Yards per route run for Brandon Cooks. Last year was the lowest of his career at .89. Not great, Bob. But here's the caveat. The games with the Bills, specifically games with the Bills, was 1.64 yards per route run, which was the highest since his last 2 years in Houston. And those last 2 years in Houston combined for 146 receptions, 1,700 yards, and 9 touchdowns. The yards per route run. He didn't have a whole lot of many big games, but he came over midseason to join a team and their offense and learn their offense midseason. I think it's tough to integrate a wide receiver unless it's like we have no choice, like DeAndre Hopkins or things like that. And DeAndre had a couple of quick games, but then you can't really every week say we're going to run plays specifically for DeAndre and run those same plays week in and week out. Eventually he has to know the entire offense. But if we look at specifically yards per route run, Brandon Cooks last year, it's like, man, he really fell off. But with the Bills, with Josh Allen, it was the yards per route run were as good as it's been since those last 2 years in Houston when, he put up 146 receptions, 1,700 yards, and 9 touchdowns in those 2 years. I mean, you're replacing the Rashee Rice production with that guy out there, and you're hoping you get more production and more playing while being on the field, the 1.64 yards per route run, but you're hoping then with the offseason, learning the offense, he will have more routes run.
I like that call a lot.
$5 million. I
didn't even know he's a free agent at this point. But, yeah, Brandon Cooks would be very intriguing to me. Very intriguing to me.
Yeah.
I think for me, a guy who I think would be fun, there's some trade options out there, obviously, but one I think is really realistic is actually Xavier Legette.
Okay, yeah.
With Carolina.
Just because of the accent, I'll take him.
Yeah, I mean, just how much fun when he beat an interview.
He's great, man.
He's great. He's fun. But he's buried now in Carolina. They had Mingo, then it was Legette, then it was Tedorora McMillan.
Yeah. T-Mac.
And then they draft another wide receiver, I think, this year. Point remains.
Probably somebody 6'3" or taller.
It's just what Carolina has done. I think I'd take a flyer on Legette.
Yeah.
I think I would. Yeah, they had Chris Brazzell.
Oh, I was going to say Brezel from Tennessee since he's really tall.
That's who it was.
They have a type. I mean, they certainly have a certain attraction to wide receivers. They've got a type that they want to go out and pursue.
For me, I think I would take a look at Leggett, what it would cost to bring him in. Now, that doesn't necessarily help you is the top end of your room. Like, he's not a Rice replacement, but I think that's a guy I would like to see the Chiefs take a flyer on.
At this point, you just need to add people to your wide receiver room because right now your receivers are Rice, ? Worthy, Taekwon, Allen, Royals, Remigio. Those are your guys right now. And again, Rice, ?
And with Leggett, he's 6'3", 227. Can he do some of the Juju roles? Like, can he be a good blocking wide receiver?
Certainly block. If,
you'd hope so if you're that size.
Else, yeah. And if you trade for him, it's going to be part of his responsibility is to come in and do that down the field. It's something that Juwan Jennings was really good at. Juju's really good at. I think Juju's going to be added to the room anyway. And if you're going to add Juju, then I might look more of a Brandon Cooks and say this is just a veteran guy. And if he's a veteran guy that fills out some of the numbers Hollywood got you, okay, he's cheaper than what Hollywood was last year. And then Rice, ? Worthy, Taekwon, Cooks, Juju, Royals, Allen. I feel better about that because if Rice ? Is then taken out, then it's at least Worthy, Taekwon, Cooks, Juju, veteran guys that have been around the block a little bit outside of, Worthy entering year 3, Taekwon entering year 4, but certainly Juju and Cooks have been around the block a little bit, professional players. Cooks has been around the block 7 or 8 times. Professional players to then help along Allen and Royals.
Octavio Dotel of of football.
Yes, wide receiver.
Matt Stairs.
Hire.
Matt Stairs.
That's fine too. We'll take a timeout. We'll come back, continue rolling, wrap up this hour. More Zone next. Is Brandon Cooks the most expensive draft capital player in history?
Yes.
Teams trading for and drafting Brandon Cooks have spent a first-rounder, a first-rounder, a first-rounder, a second-rounder, a third-rounder, and a third-rounder on Brandon Cooks. 3 first-round picks, a second, and 2/3 are what teams have spent in draft capital to either draft or then trade for Brandon Cooks. 3 firsts, a second, and 2/3. Herschel Walker, Ricky Williams, and Brandon Cooks. The most expensive players in draft capital in NFL history, maybe. I don't know.
Let him Cooks.
Yes. We'll see. He would be on my list, along with Debo, Keenan Allen. Juju's on it anyway, even if they keep Rashee Rice. We'll talk Royals. Are they buying or selling? Is it about time? Stay the course, everybody. All right, a couple more hours to go here on a Thursday. Right? Halfway there, everybody. Halfway there. Sterling, take it. Living on a prayer. So the Royals. Living on a prayer. An hour from now, we'll play a little sports or leisure. Give away $25 to Johnny's Tavern with some sports or leisure. We'll talk some Royals here. We talked to Royals in the first hour just about the options they had in the offseason that, hindsight being 2020, we have a little bit more information now 50 games into the season, sitting 10 games under 500. And if the trade for Brendan Donovan would have been, something to help the team, or obviously the starting point was the fact that Jarren Duran, did what he did over the last couple of days. And that was somebody that the Royals were talking to the Red Sox about, but it would have involved Cole Reagans. And Cole Reagans, apparently is an untouchable core part of this team that they did not want to trade away or touch. So, Brendan Donovan in and out of the lineup for the Mariners. Is he back on the IL? He hasn't played in a few days.
I think he's back in the IL.
Yeah.
I think I just
I think he's back on the IL.
dropped him in fantasy baseball.
He's on the IL again, which is the second stint. Which hey, Mariners gave up what they gave up, and he's only played in 25 games so far of the 50, so half the season right now, and he's still going to be missing more time. So he'll be missing more than half the season once he comes back from the IL. So that certainly matters what you would have given up for the 2 years of team control for 2 years after this year. So he's a free agent in 2028, so that means 26 and 27. So he's a free agent after next year. So you'd have 2 years with Brendan Donovan on your team with whatever you would have given up. But Cole Reagans was a guy that you have this year and a couple of more years of team control. And would they have received Jarren Duran? Was it Jarren Duran and somebody else, and then they were wanting even more? Were the Red Sox saying, no, you got to give us Cole Reagans plus to get Jarren Duran? These are all questions that, we don't really know the full answer to. But we know that Duran was somebody that the Royals were very much interested, and we know Cole Reagans was somebody that the Red Sox were very much interested in, and it never came to fruition. I want to play this clip from Bobby Witt because, this is where we get into 50 games in the season and what this team looks like and is doing and how they're playing. But here's Bobby Witt postgame after the sweep at the hands of the Red Sox and the losses piling up.
It sucks being swept and losing, but got off day tomorrow and then just get back to going.
What makes you confident in the guys that you've got in here to be able to turn it around?
Yeah, we all believe in each other. That's all we can do, and we believe in the work we put in. We believe in everything we do, so we just got to go out there and just play our game of baseball and enjoy the moments, be there, be present, and just go from there.
There's no shortcuts to go try to win baseball games, but is there anything that can happen to spark anything that's on the field? I mean, you hear people get mad, beating up trash cans, knocking tables over. You guys don't seem like that kind of team to do that. It comes from the top with Q, so even-keeled and all that. There's no magic sauce to go fake a way to winning games, right?
No, you just try to score more runs than them and then win games.
Bobby, what do you think will weigh on you the most between now and getting to be back here playing Friday? What will be on your mind? Are you going to try to get everything off your mind, or how will you treat that?
Yeah, you just flush it after tonight, but you got to learn from your mistakes, and feel like we've been making some, and so just got to get better.
Yeah, Salvi said, we have what we need here in this clubhouse, but what is your message to this group? What do you continue to tell the guys?
Yeah, we just got to have that confidence that we're the best team out there. We just got to have that swagger, got to go out there and just compete, play the game hard, play the game 100%, play it like it's our last game every night. You go about it like that, there's not too much to hang your shoulders on after a game, after a loss, so you got to go out there and just play your tail off.
It's what we typically hear from Bobby after a game of, hey, we just got to go and work hard. Got to go back the next day, keep doing what we're doing, keep working hard, things will be fine. It's also the message from Matt Quatrero. hey, tomorrow it's a new day, and hey, we can't do it. Yeah, it's people are frustrated, but we can't let those frustrations boil over into being overly emotional and going into the next day. And Lebo asking Bobby Witt about doesn't really seem like a rah-rah type, kick a Gatorade bucket or flip a table, and asked Matt Quatrero sort of the same thing, and Q was just like, no, I mean, what's that going to do?
I'd say try it.
Maybe right. I mean, you can't do it often, but if it's a guy that never does that and then does it, I kind of feel like it has even more of an impact of like, all right, we aren't doing nearly enough. We aren't doing the little things. And the little things are just whether you're a good baseball team, bad baseball team, locked into a game. Because, again, Scott Sharp was on with New Day and 2 days ago on Tuesday. And one of the things that he talked about was the little things that they're talking about, base running. And he had mentioned, getting a good read or hustling out of the box. These are things that are costing them. That's the most recent games that he was discussing. Yeah. And it was yesterday morning. Sorry, did I say Tuesday morning? I meant yesterday morning. So the most recent games he's discussing, getting a good read on a ball. Clearly talking about Michael Massey.
Yeah.
And then getting thrown out. Not busting it and hustling out of the box. Clearly talking about Michael Garcia. Those are small details in a game of being completely locked in for 9 innings to be able to win that thing. And they just aren't doing that. And to me, last night was Kyle Isbell trying to lay down the sack bunt while also trying to hit bunt for a hit. Like, choose one or the other. Either you're going to be in there bunting for a base hit, then drag it down the first base line. Or if you're going to be in there sacrificing, you can't bunt it right back to the pitcher.
Correct.
But by trying to bunt and get out of the box while you're still bunting, so you can maybe, now I bunted and, we really got something going now. We got a guy at first and second, nobody out. We got something cooking. Now you don't. Now you got somebody at first with one out. It was a wasted at bat. All you did was just change places with somebody at first base. That's it. That's all you did. Because, I want to do. Okay, maybe we're just trying to do too much. We're not scoring, so we're trying to do too much. Then don't. Then stop trying to do too much and just do the things that are asked of you. Lane Thomas is not asked to steal third base.
No.
Michael Garcia is asked to hustle out of the box because he might turn a single into a double. Kyle Isbell is asked to lay down a bunt and move runners if need be. So Lane Thomas doing something he's not needed to do, and Michael Garcia and Kyle Isbell not doing something they are needed to do, all in the last few nights.
I'm even frustrated with Q's even-keeled, if you will. It's
what do you want me to do?
Tiresome. Yeah, when the replay of Cags being safe and you don't come out.
It's an immediate ejection, though.
Sure.
I know. You are saying at that point in the first inning of game 2, and I'm not saying you're wrong in terms of being pissed, and that isn't
show something.
That isn't tossing a table or anything or yelling at the players.
Show something,
but it's showing
man.
some fire, knowing the second I walk out here, the home plate umpire will look at me and give me the hand, and I better walk back. If not, I'm going to be tossed. But here I am. I'm going to go up there and I'm going to scream and yell because that's not good enough. The Red Sox broadcast was shocked that it wasn't overturned.
Yes.
Everybody watching was shocked that it wasn't overturned.
Oh, no. Who else is going to put Alex Lang in the game?
Ranger Suarez was sitting there smiling, like a half grin, like, wow, I can't believe it's not bases loaded, one out right now. I got second and third with 2 outs. This is great.
At some point, show some fire. I'm so tired of the, oh shucks, I guess we lost again, but we're going to go and attack tomorrow. It's a new day. Well, dude, you're 20 and 30. At some point, have some sort of fire. Have some sort of, all right, no, we're changing something up. This isn't working.
Yeah. But that's the point of, staying the course. Like, you keep staying the course, then you're going to keep getting what you've been getting. It's not just going to be expected to turn around. And I understand why Bobby says that, because Bobby's mentality is I've got to show up next day and do the same things that I'm doing to get ready to play. And Bobby ain't the problem.
Bobby's been phenomenal.
He's been great. But other guys. And so now you're at a point where you're 20 and 30. And this is where the question comes in. At what point in the season do we say it's time for not even talking about it, because they'd better already be talking about it, but seriously discussing with other teams what the asking price will be and who are the players that teams would be interested in if you're JJ Picollo? Because how can you possibly expect to be in a position to compete for a playoff spot when this team is 20-30? They're 4.5 games out of the wild card, and you got 7 teams you'd have to go past anyway, even to get to the 3rd wild card spot. And they're 8.5 back of the division. They're in last place in the division. You've got Reagan's on the IL, Bubic on the IL, India's done for the season, Estevez on the IL. You've got India, that I already met. Bergert, I said India but twice, but Bergert is who I was thinking of. Bergert's out for the year. India done for the year. Estevez may be done for the year. These were guys that you were probably going to count on. Bergert, definitely the other guys you were counting on.
Yeah.
You gave $8 million to Jonathan India. You were counting on a bounce-back year for him. You were counting on Estevez to look somewhat like he did last year. Maybe not lead the league in saves, but to look somewhat like he did last year. Maybe not be 42 saves and 6 blown saves. Maybe it's 37 and 11 blown saves. And it's like, not great, but at least you feel like the back-end guy is there and he's giving you enough. And the fans will be pissed about it all season long because it'll be more blown saves or actual blown saves and not ghost runner saves.
Yeah.
Because when we talk about like 2 blown saves when he entered the 9th with the lead, as opposed to the ghost runner, so maybe 5 or 6 blown saves entering the 9th with the lead.
Who's even valuable on this team to other?
Right? Who would you sell?
Because Bobby's untouchable, Cag's untouchable, Carter untouchable.
Yeah,
I think
Garcia.
I think those 3, and maybe Garcia. Those are your 4 building block pieces, right?
I would think so.
And they're under contract, at least Bobby and Garcia.
But I would talk about it and discuss Carter, Cags, and Michael. The only one I won't do is Bobby.
Yeah,
not yet.
I would discuss it, but I don't know.
In a few years, I'll have to do that when he's got the opt out at the end coming up.
I just don't know if there's
yet. That's just
it sucks, but that's reality of baseball. When he's got the opt out in his contract, which he's going to do, at that point you've got to examine when's the right time to move him.
I don't know what,
or if he'll agree to an extension, whatever it might be.
With Cags and Carter and even Garcia, I don't know if you're getting back valuable enough pieces to make that move. Vinny, I'm obviously taking a look at, but I don't think Vinny's value is there. It's a lot of intangibles. Isaac Collins, you're probably taking a look at. I think Kyle Isbell, you're probably taking a look at.
Like guys you would move?
Yeah, at least, I'd Michael Mass, you're not getting anything for. Lane Thomas, maybe it's like that John Jay move for left-handed bat.
Like to me, it's Lane Thomas and Marte are the guys that are the easily movable guys.
Elias Diaz,
not
maybe.
that you're getting anything out of them, but those are guys that aren't going to be a part of the team next year. They're doing the job that you brought them in to do, which is to hit lefties. That's going to be a valuable asset for teams that are going and in a playoff hunt. So I don't know that you'd get much for them, but you're certainly going to move those guys. Bubic, Reagans, Urseg. I think all those guys would be examined of moving. Bubic is going to be a free agent at the end of this year. I'm not giving him $100 million over the course of a contract.
Daniel Lynch maybe might.
Daniel Lynch
with
might
how
be
good
somebody to
he's
look
been,
at.
do you sell high on him? And
if it's really a seller's market, then Urseg with team control and what you may get back for him if other teams aren't willing to move somebody that has the profile of Urseg, then maybe you're forced to do that. And then examine, a bullpen in the offseason. And maybe you've got guys in the minors that you're saying can fill in some higher leverage situations. And maybe Daniel Lynch is our closer. Who knows?
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe it's a sailboat. Who knows? But Urseg, you have to examine that if it's a seller's market. Bubic, free agent. Examine that, seller's market. Reagans, you've got him for a couple more years. I don't know that you're maximizing the value on him. But, again, if it's a seller's market and people are going to overpay, I mean, I don't know who's a pitcher that you won't move.
I know it's a sunk cost, but
Michael Wacha, Seth Lugo. I'd look at moving Michael Wacha. You got him next year too, but I mean, he might be a guy that gets you the most back because he's got one more year at $20 million.
I know it's a sunk cost because it didn't happen, so you have to go off what the market is now. But it's going to look bad if they didn't get Duran for Reagans and they get a lot lesser return.
Yeah.
That's going to be a tough one to. to swallow.
And I don't care what the players will think in the clubhouse if they sell, even if they're playing good baseball, even if they're getting themselves and working themselves back in to being within a shooter's chance of being able to give the old college try. Like you're in the neighborhood of being able to compete, and the team's like, hey, we're playing good baseball, let's go. And then they trade off some pieces. There's nobody in that clubhouse that can say anything, because last year they extended Seth Lugo, they didn't sell, and Vinny said that was a baller move. Great. So they've shown that they're willing to back you guys when they think you're playing good baseball. They're not just in the tanking business, and they're not in the selling off every July business. I'm going to guess that last year was a much better position for them to be in than what they will be at the end of July this year. They didn't sell last year. They also didn't make the playoffs. And they haven't had the return on Seth Lugo with the money they gave him and extended him than what they would have got by trading him last year. And if he continues to be up and down and, hot and cold, then you're not going to get that value at the end of this year, because somebody's going to have to be on the hook for that $20 million next year, plus a $3 million buyout on his contract. Because right now you'd be looking at owing him almost $40 million, Seth Lugo. A little less than maybe $38 million is what you'd be looking at paying him, is what you would owe him the rest of the contract that you gave him last year at the trade deadline.
They
what
went
team
in
is going
this
to do
year.
that?
The Royals went in this year, and that's the hard part is, okay, well, it's not looking good. You went in, even with some guys to try and win on the margins with bringing in Matt Strom, right? Like you're trying to win a little bit.
IL, I didn't even mention him being on the IL.
But your minor league system isn't good, and no one's really close. Like, no one's close to coming up. So I don't know what this Royals team does.
Yeah. Because you look at the starting pitchers to start the season. Reagans, Lugo, Waka, Cameron, Bubich. Not necessarily in that order, but those five. Bergert, Kolick, Avila. You had 8. Bergert's down. Avila's in the bullpen. Reagan's on the IL. Bubich on the IL. Got 4 of 8 that are healthy right now. The back end of your bullpen, your 8-9 guy, both on the IL. 8th inning guy, 9th inning guy, IL. So your fireman that you were going to move around and use in different places is now your 9th inning guy. Your other guy that was a 6th, 7th inning that Daniel Lynch was really developing is now becoming your 8th inning guy. So everybody gets moved up, and part of Avila not being a starter is in the bullpen because of some of these things that have happened. So you also have to acknowledge the injuries that have taken a toll on this team. And do you then say you're going to be fully healthy moving forward? Well, Estevez ain't coming back anytime soon. Bergert's gone for the year. And unless you want to move Avila back to the starting rotation, now you're taking away from the bullpen. What are you doing there? And Reagans and Bubich, hopefully they'll remain healthy when they come back. But again, that's hoping that Rashee Rice for 4 years and 2 months will not, break his probation again.
At what point do we have the Q conversation of how safe he is?
Depending on how this team plays the rest of the way in terms of when they're asked to bunt, getting it down, the constant outs on the base paths, the smaller things that would be expected of a major league player that aren't happening, because that's a sign of coaching. If you keep getting thrown out on the base paths and you're asked about the aggressiveness and clearly the outs, and the first thing you say is, well, yeah, but Lane Thomas, he stretched that into it. He busted his butt and got a double out of that. Okay. So you understand that that's the bare minimum expectation of a player, right? Seriously, that's where they are right now. And that's an indictment that is damning with faint praise from your manager that you are applauding and saying, whoa, 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 whoa. I know you guys are talking about the negative. Let's look at the positive. This guy hit the ball and ran hard. This guy hit the ball, ran hard, and ended up at second. Why are you guys not talking about that? I mean, we almost ran out there and gave him a damn Salvi splash. We lifted up the Quick Trip Cup and we're running out there to give him a salvie splash because this guy ran hard. Like, do you guys not acknowledge that there is somebody on our team that ran? I get it. You want to focus on Massey with a bad read and Vance Wilson sending people randomly and Michael Garcia loafing it like a lazy ass now that he got his contract. He's got a really cool bat flip when he walks, though. In fact, we're going to make a damn bobble hat out of it. This is going to be great. Why do you focus on all of the outs on the base paths? Leading the league in outs on the base paths for opportunities. That ratio, they are number one in Major League Baseball in. Number one. Killing it.
We're number one.
Yeah. Why are you guys worrying about that? Lane Thomas ran hard.
And then immediately got thrown out. But he ran hard.
Okay? And then he ran hard almost to third base when he tried to steal for some reason. And then, he ran hard when he ran back to second earlier this year and then decided to go and got thrown out. And then he ran hard in the routes that he takes in center field in his amazing defense. But you guys are so negative. The guy stretched a single into a double by running hard. Stop focusing on the damn negative and give this guy an applause for doing his mother bleeping job. In fact, you know what? Lane Thomas, standing ovation, Lane Thomas. Give him a damn extension, Q. Go to JJ, get an extension for Lane Thomas. The guy ran to second. Holy bleep. My 10-year-olds do that. You go to any ballpark around the Kansas City area and watch Little League Baseball, and they do that. And they ain't making millions, Q. They ain't making millions. In fact, if, they don't run hard, they're probably getting yelled at. Because it's baseball and my kids go into pros. How about talk to Michael about being a lazy ass? How about Q bench his ass? The next time Michael Garcia leaves the box jogging like he's a freaking badass Ohtani, you put his ass on the bench and you say no more. And I'm sitting your ass tomorrow too. Because I am freaking done with the BS, almost said it, BS of Q sitting here making excuses for his sorry-ass team. And those sorry-ass mistakes are part of being a manager, Q. So step your ass up or get your ass out of the dugout. But don't do it slowly like Michael Garcia's lazy ass who jogs out of the box.
This is more fire from you than this entire Royals team.
I'm just tired of the damn excuses.
It sucks when it feels like we care more than they do.
Like, it's just stay the course. Your course is getting thrown out on the base paths. How about this, Q? Don't stay the course. You're steering them into choppy waters. There's clear blue skies right there. Right there, there's blue skies in the same direction where you can go to get your destination. Instead, you're going, yeah, but the clouds are going to lift over here. See all those waves? It's going to be fine on the other side of that. We're just going to stay the course. Keep going this way. Full speed ahead.
It's Animal House.
Damn the torpedoes.
It's Animal House at the very end. All is well. All is well as disaster is going on.
I can't have your manager saying, well, Lane Thomas stretched a single into a double. Well, you guys are so negative, so focusing on the negative. Well, yeah, we want to be aggressive. We got to be aggressive out there. Hell, it was 2-1 entering the 8th. You dumbasses don't even know the score entering the 8th inning. It was 2-1 in the 8th. You idiots can't look at a scoreboard. Why are you not listening? Look at the scoreboard. It was 2-1 in the 8th. What are you guys worried about?
Sure, we lost 7-1, but it was 0-0 in the first inning.
It was 0-0 in the first, and you're worried about these 30 damn games we've lost. You're not even talking about the 20 wins. My team has won 20 games out of 50. And I want to talk about that first before we talk about the 30 losses. Because you know what the 30 losses are? Baseball. It's just baseball. Baseball happens in 30 losses. 20 wins, that's how we play. That's how we play. We ain't doing anything wrong. We're doing nothing wrong. Those aren't mistakes. Ask Lane Thomas. getting thrown out of the third, he wouldn't even call it a mistake. Oh, I'm stealing third. I thought I had him. I wouldn't even call it a mistake. Well, you're the one. Oh, also the manager right around the corner down the hall. He also wouldn't call it a mistake. In fact, he'll go in front of the media and defend it. You deserve the boos they give you. That's the line. You ought to be ashamed of yourselves. You deserve the boos that you give you. You know, Bobby Witt asked last night about the fans' frustrations and not showing up, and he said, well, they can not show up or they can do what they do. We're going to be here, you know, going through our stuff and trying to win baseball games, which is great. But guess what? They're not going to be showing up. They're not going to be showing up. So when you say, when do you start talking about Q? I start talking about Q when you keep saying Zumwalt isn't the issue. When you keep saying the offense is fine, Zumwalt isn't the problem. In fact, we're going to fire everybody around Zumwalt and put different people in place because Zumwalt is good. So we're going to keep him there. And while the offense sucks yet again, Zumwalt isn't the problem. Okay, he's not the problem. Base running, we got to be aggressive. Being a dumbass and sending somebody that already stopped from third to home to get thrown out with only one out and Michael and Bobby coming up. I mean, Michael might hit the ball hard and jog to first the very next at bat, and you send Michael Massey, who had stopped running already. If Damon Wilson said go to Michael Garcia, well, then he's a dumbass that didn't see his runner dogging it. And if there's anybody on this team that you would guess would lazily jog down like a badass because he hit the ball hard, like that's what this team is. You know, they're looking at everybody and saying, Michael Garcia hit a line drive. Of course he can pimp it a little bit. It was a line drive. That's what you hang your hat on. He hit the ball hard. Jogging, stopping, wasn't even rounding first with any conviction. Was Damon Hollins seeing Michael Garcia if he said go? Or is Michael Garcia calling out or throwing Damon Hollins under the bus? Because Michael Garcia said, I should have ran out of the box, but my coach said go. So I went. My coach said go. Okay, well then Damon Hollins made a mistake. So it's his fault. Vance Wilson's making mistakes. So it's his fault. And as long as those mistakes continue to happen, then it's acceptable to Quattrero. And if it's acceptable to Quattrero, it shouldn't be acceptable to JJ. And if it's acceptable to JJ, John Sherman needs to make some decisions because he's trying to build a ballpark downtown. And the district they'll take care of and spend money. But there's a lot of tax breaks that are going your way to build a ballpark downtown. So if Zumwalt isn't the answer or the issue, then what is? Well, it's not Vance. It's not Damon Hollins. Base running isn't an issue. Our players aren't an issue. It ain't Q. He's not the issue. It's not him. Well, it's not JJ. So maybe it's John Sherman. Maybe Sherman's the problem, even though he's spending more money than other, owners would.
What do the analytics say on making outs on the base pass?
Stop. That's what they say. They say stop. You know what the analytics say? Stop stealing bases. The analytics say risking going first to third with less than 2 outs is stupid unless you know you're going to get there, unless it's an obvious one. Taking some extra bases are nice. The issue with this team, if this team had the highest on-base percentage in the league and got thrown out of the base pass from time to time, fine, whatever. You don't get on base enough to give outs back. You can't score runs with 3 outs in an inning. Now you're trying to do it with 2 outs. You are giving every single team 2 opportunities to record an out on that guy. You either get him out at the plate or you'll probably throw him out on the base paths. It's a joke. Every other game, this team has an out on the base paths. They've got, 22, 23 outs on the base paths out of 50 games?
It's absurd.
And the manager to come out and say yesterday, well, you got to focus on Lane Thomas. He ran hard. That could have been a single and a half. You don't get credit for a single and a half. He stretched to a double, and we got a run. See? That run wouldn't have been on the board if it wasn't for Lane Thomas. Okay. So what you're saying then, if it wasn't for Garcia and Massey and Isbell and Vinny and Lane Thomas and many others along the way that have been thrown out on the base. If it wasn't for them, you'd have more runs. Because let's play that game, Q. Let's play that game. That game you call, let's focus on the hustler. Okay. Then if you do that, you have to acknowledge the flip side. Just a JJ saying, the lineup we put out there on Sunday, it wasn't what people wanted to see, but we won the game, so I guess it worked. Okay, so your lineup hasn't worked 30 times. You can't only give the positive and never see the flip side of what you're saying. Just, God bless you, Sterling, for going out there and watching it. I wouldn't spend a dime on this team right now. I'm not going to spend a dime on watching a team that plays bad baseball.
Tickets for free.
Okay. Well, you didn't spend a dime. Did you buy a beer?
A few.
I wouldn't spend a dime.
A lot of dimes.
I wouldn't spend a dime out there at all to support this team that plays stupid baseball.
I was supporting beer.
I don't mind if you get beat. If you get beat by, you know what, that was just a really well-played game. They got beat. Those things happen. But the constant, you don't do the little things. Oh, let's sacrifice bunt. No, I'm going to try to bunt for a hit too, because I'm also a badass. No, you're not. You're Kyle Isbell. Compared to everybody else in the world at baseball, you are a badass. Okay? But on this team, you're batting ninth to move some runners when called upon. And you haven't done that enough this year. And you failed a number of times. You've played much better this year at the plate, but when called upon, you got to move the guy. That's your job. Vinny, your job is to not be a 100 hitter. Guys aren't doing their job. And Q is saying, we just got to stay the course. We just got to keep doing what we're doing. Are we frustrated? Yeah, we're frustrated. But what can you do? What are you going to do? It's baseball. You're going to be frustrated. Guys are going to get thrown out. Guys are going to go to second. Guys are going to score. Guys are going to play bad defense. But you're focusing on this bad defense. What about some of the good defense? Huh? What about some of the good defense? You freaking haters, man. You guys are hating on a team that's 10 games under 500. That's the negativity. How do you expect that team to go out there and play well if the fans won't support them and they're negative about it? Have the tarps off. Look at the Cardinals. Cardinals are going to be undefeated the rest of the way because those fans are having fun. You don't lose when the fans go out there and support you. You don't focus on they focus on the positive. This team will win every single game the rest of the way. I blame the fans. I think it's also the fans' fault. And the media for bringing these things up and not talking about enough of the positive stuff. Q, why is your offense major league average across the board in like batting average and on base and slugging and OPS, yet you're so far down the list of runs scored? Well, I would say it's either baseball or Lane Thomas went to second. It's not the other guys getting thrown out of the base paths that could have cost us runs. You know, Lane Thomas went to second. Lane Thomas went to second. Listen, Jalen, you can talk about the negative all you want, but Lane Thomas took second. In fact, make the T-shirts. Lane Thomas took second. Lane Thomas went to second. I want those. Boys are playing some ball, and Lane Thomas went to second.
We need to bring that up. It's more like Matt Quattrover.
LTWT2.
It's Q over.
LTWT2. Lane Thomas went to second. I'm wearing those shirts. Get the bracelets. WWJD, WWLT. What would Lane Thomas do on this one? Go to second. Also get caught stealing third. And then get in a rundown when he read the ball wrong and went back to second and then decided to go to third and get thrown out there and take an L route and a J route. But if I'm at the plate, what would Lane Thomas do? I'll take that. WWLT. All right. We done? We good? We got Sports and Leisure at 1 o'clock? Is it 1 o'clock yet?
Well, Bobby's playing sports and Garcia's doing leisure.
Is Soren in yet? Can I call it a show?
I don't know how we topped this segment. It was great.
Oh, I think there's a lot of ways to top that segment. But let's focus on the positive parts of it, though, and not the negatives, all right?
Jason yelled, sure.
Yes.
But.
Yes. Jason went 15 minutes over when he was supposed to break. But you're not even paying attention to the fact that he did break. All right, we'll continue right here on Sports Radio 810 WHB. Coming up at 1 o'clock, we'll play some sports or leisure. I don't know which one we're going to play, Sterling. Do you think we're going to play sports or are we going to play leisure? I don't know. I want to play this because this was a positive. It was really cool that I saw, and Pete Gradoff is the one that wrote about it, and I saw it. I did not see it Monday when it was tweeted out by one Kenneth Walker III, K9, KW3, hopefully MVP of a Super Bowl for the Chiefs, not just one, but multiple. I didn't know this about Kenneth Walker. He said it after the Super Bowl, but I wasn't paying attention to post-game press conferences at the Super Bowl because the game was over. They gave the trophy. I went to bed. If the Chiefs were in, I'd be watching the post-game commentary and things like that. So maybe this is a widely known thing around Kenneth Walker. That's fine. It wasn't for me. But the overall sort of video that he put out, it's like a minute and a half, but it's cool, it's fun, and it gets you more, to me, ready for the good things that can happen for the Chiefs this year on the field, and not the last 2 days of Rashee Rice and the frustrations with the Royals and, are they going to be sellers now because they're not playing? Like, it's been a rough couple of days. Like, I'm tired of talking about it. And I bet people are tired of hearing it because, we're all tired of watching it and living through it. But Kenneth Walker, his video that he put out there about his life journey and sort of even being an inspiration to others of continuing to fight and charge ahead in whatever your dreams are, because apparently at one point in high school he was told you're never going to play football again because of issues with health. So let's take a listen. I thought this was really cool.
When a doctor told me I couldn't play no more, I just thought, football was over. That's what I was doing all my life. So it was a shocking moment, but, my dad worked with me throughout that whole process, and he was in the hospital with me as well, and my mom. So just going through that, it just made me grateful for each and every day to be able to go out there and strap up and play this game and just, still be alive for real.
As a kid, he would always say, you think I can go to the NFL? And, his dad said, hey, you can do it.
He's at the 40, the 30, the 20, the 10, into the end zone.
The Seattle Seahawks select Kenneth Walker, running back, Michigan State.
I know once his hand touched that ball, he's going to make the crowd stand.
It's Walker, first down inside the 10, the 5.
Walker gets it again, tries to sprint to the edge. He's so fast, he gets there. Touchdown.
First running back to win Super Bowl MVP since Super Bowl 32. Hall of Famer Terrell Davis.
He reminds me of Le'Veon Bell. Looked a lot like a Le'Veon Bell run.
Kenneth Walker again to the left. Sprinting through. Walker's got another. Down the sideline. He is gone.
Just trying to go get another one. It'd be cool to be out there and playing and, seeing all the fans. Yeah, it's a winning culture. They know how to win, so I feel like it's a great fit for me.
So there you go. There's Kenneth Walker. He had blood clots in his lungs when he was in high school, and the doctor said you can't play anymore. It's not. It's your health won't allow you to play because you may not survive by playing football. You can't do it. But then working through it, figuring out a way to get around it, then eventually it stopped happening, and then he was able to play football again. And Michigan State to the Seattle Seahawks, and then now to the Kansas City Chiefs. So I thought that was a pretty cool video that he put out. It ended there with that whole skipping. It's showing him going from a Seahawk uniform to then a Chief. And then that's what he was talking about at the end of let's do it again. Let's get another MVP. It's the coaches. It's winning around here. And can't wait to be there in front of the fans. But then even hearing the Kenneth Walker gets to the edge, and he gets there, cuts it up. He's so fast. Touchdown. I'm just ready for it.
Electric.
I'm ready for it because I'm tired of the offense is struggling and they can't score and there's too much on Patrick Mahomes and Rashee Rice. Can you rely upon him? Can you do this? The Chiefs have somebody that they can hand the ball to and go and make a play since 2018. Go be the guy that makes the play. Go be the Patrick Mahomes with the ball in your hands as a running back, as opposed to everything around you needs to be done for you to go and do these things.
It's crazy his last name's Walker when he's so fast.
That's a great point. That is a
Kenneth Electric Walker.
Yeah, so if his last name was Speed, it'd be like, damn, he's so slow. He's so slow, man.
Maybe his middle name's Speed. Kenneth Speed Walker.
Yeah, Sky. His middle. I mean, if your last name's Walker, like you got to be middle name Sky. You know,
fast.
Like be a Sky
fast
walker.
He's a fast walker. He's
okay.
Yeah,
fast walker. There you go. That's Speed Walker.
Yeah,
that's fine. Yeah, absolutely. That works. But I thought that was cool because I didn't know that story, and maybe I should have known. And maybe it's Jim Abbott. Maybe it's a Jim Abbott story that I was not aware of.
Did you know Jim?
Michael, are you aware of when we referenced Jim Abbott around on the show around here? Dylan had learned, and then he said, I learned about a guy named Jim Abbott that he only had one hand, and he pitched, and he threw a no-hitter, and he pitched for a long time in Major League Baseball. We're like, it's literally what he's famous for.
He's famous for that. It's like, no.
Yeah, so, bless your heart, Dylan.
Still an all-timer.
Absolutely. So every once in a while we go, I don't know if this is a Jim Abbott or not, and everybody's like, yeah, duh, this is well-known, but it'd be like if, I don't know, maybe Trey Smith goes to another team in a few years and they go, did you know he had blood clots at Tennessee? Like in his lungs? Like, this is crazy. Did not know about this. Apparently, that's why he went in the 6th round. It's crazy. But no, it's a great story on perseverance of you're not allowed to play because of health. Then you're allowed to play, and your approach is, I may not be able to play tomorrow. So every single game, I've got to go and play because tomorrow isn't promised out here. I don't know. Maybe the Royals take that approach. I don't know why I just connected that. I'm not sure. Maybe Rashee Rice takes that approach.
He'd be better on the base pass.
Oh, yeah, Kenneth White. He was so fast. So he wouldn't be caught. And don't get in front of him because he's going to bowl over somebody with the ball in their hands. Sorry, dude, wrong sport. I'm not used to this whole thing, having to slide into a base.
Albert Bell, that thing.
I just go through, dude. Sorry about that, man. I apologize. We'll take a timeout, come back, and wrap up this hour. Sports or Leisure coming up at 1 o'clock. More Zone next. All right, wrapping up this hour. We got sports or leisure coming up in the 1 o'clock hour. Next segment, sports or leisure. A couple of things for the Royals and differences from this year to last year. The Royals this year are 2-12 versus left-handed starters. Last year they were 20-13. In these series finale games, this year they're 4-12. Last year they were 33-19. Those are massive differences. 33-19 to end a series last year. They're 4-12 this year. 20-13 when a lefty started against them. They are 2-12 now. Sweet.
into sports, but nothing wrong with a little leisure time. Why not both?
You're going to have a heart attack by the time you're 40 if you don't learn to relax.
It's time for sports or leisure on The Zone with Jason Anderson.
All right, let's play a little sports or leisure. I just want to point this out real quick. Just real quick.
Something that grinds your gears.
Just real quick.
He didn't get all this screaming out earlier.
Was I screaming? I thought it was more. I was
talking loudly.
Well, I don't even think it was.
You
I
raised your voice at me?
I think it
Yeah,
was.
you are.
I think it was.
Yeah, you are.
Everybody can hear it. It's on. It's being recorded. I think I was just enunciating. I think I was making sure that my words were understood.
That was your best Mick Cronin.
It's more enunciating than yell. I don't think it was yelling. The Royals' notes last night, or pregame yesterday, I should say, talked about running the bases. I just want to put this out here real quick because it's a convenient stat. The Royals have been caught stealing 15 times this year, tied fourth most in the majors, been picked off 7 times, tied fifth most in the majors, and have made 19 outs on the bases trying to advance, tied fourth most. Whether that's just outs on the bases, trying to advance, fourth most. Now here's where it gets funny. On the flip side, the Royals have 62 extra bases taken, second most in the majors to the Cubs' 63, on fly balls, passed balls, wild pitches, balks, and defensive indifference. Those are odd sort of things that sort of go together there. They have 62 extra bases on fly balls. That's called a sacrifice fly. Passed balls. Everybody moves up. Wild pitches. See passed balls. Balks. They force you to go. Defensive indifference. They're indifferent to you taking the extra base because the game's over in their mind. Why'd they use those categories? Only the Cubs have more than the Royals on fly balls, pass balls, wild pitches. And pass balls and wild pitches are absolutely the aggressiveness of the Royals on the base paths. That's those outs on the base paths are then resulting in wild pitches and pass balls. Balks, defensive indifference, and taking the base on a fly ball. So what you're saying is you're getting guys on and then you're not getting hits to move them up. You're moving them up 90 feet with fly balls. So what you're doing is you're getting guys on with less than 2 outs and not getting hits.
Correct.
So they can move up 90 feet station to station. I don't think that tells the story you think it does. I don't think that tells. Balks. You have to move up. It's the rule. You're not allowed to stay there. You are required to move up to take the extra base. All right, sports or leisure here on a Thursday. Yeah. Let's just have that playing the rest of the show. Just play that the rest of the show.
It's getting kind of hard
to believe things are going to get better. At 2 o'clock, I bet they will. They will for me. 1, I don't have to enunciate anymore. And I'll listen to Seren. So it gets much better. It's the best of both worlds. You heat up the ice. All right, we play sports or leisure. $25 to Johnny's Tavern is on the line. You get a sports question, you get a leisure question, you get them both right, you win. Either of them wrong, you lose. The question is out there available for someone to call in and request if you know the answer to it. We give out the right answer when it has been answered correctly, or we have simply run out of time to play. No hints, no second chances. This is not an everybody wins game, okay? This is real life. This is for all of the marbles. $25 to Johnny's Tavern's worth of marbles. And you got to earn it, man.
Kids don't play with marbles anymore, and it's a real travesty.
Yeah, I haven't watched my son play jacks one time.
I loved marbles growing up.
How do you play marbles?
Well, you'd have them and you'd flick them out of the way, and you're playing games with them.
I know, but I don't know what to do with there is a game marbles. I've never actually
you
played
gotta
it.
Flick them out of the way, and you got a lot of flicking.
Okay, well, that's fine.
Just flicking marbles, man.
We had marbles around the house when I was younger. I just didn't know what they were used for. It was
for flicking.
Oh, here's a little cup. Here's
for chucking.
Cup of marbles.
Most of the time, kids are just eating them.
It's a cup of marbles right here, right there. Hey, I bet I can run faster than you. What are you going to bet? That right there? Wow, this is for all the marbles. I know the reference because there wasn't game marbles. But anyway, shall we go through the categories, folks, and get this thing rolling? On the sports side, we've got Major League Baseball. This was a category we had last week, but the phone lines broke right before sports or leisure, so we couldn't do sports or leisure. So we had to enunciate for an extra hour. Chiefs and Broncos. These are players that played for both the Chiefs and the Broncos, because this time last week, we didn't know the schedule. All we knew was that the Chiefs were playing the Broncos, and Broncos fans had lost their ever-bleeping mind because it was at Kansas City Stadium, playing Monday Night Football. And then we have some left over for go UDFA-ing yourself. Go UDFA yourself is that category. So Major League Baseball, Chiefs, Donkeys, go UDFA yourself. These are undrafted free agents for the Chiefs in their time. What about on the leisure side, Sterling?
Yeah, I'll read the marble game. Yeah, I played it the right way. I played it the English version, ring towel.
Yeah.
We have commercial slogans. Commercial slogans, which
are so tough, man.
Maybe these are a little easier.
I'm just saying from my perspective.
Yeah, we still have.
I fast forward through commercials now. Sorry.
We have commercial slogans. We have riddles because I love riddles, and we still have 3 left. And got my country on.
Yeah.
Got 3 left and got my country on.
Get your country on, man. Come on, dude. Just wear a shirt that says country, and then when you put it on, you say, I got my country on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All right. 913-381-810 is the phone number. I'm ready to go. Sterling, you ready to play?
Yeah, why not?
Michael?
I think I'm ready.
Oh, let's do it, man. Let's enunciate a little bit more. You know what I mean? We gotta enunciate this this whole thing. To the phone lines we go, and let's bring in Mike. Mike leads us off here on Sports Radio 810 for a little sports or leisure. Mike, what side would you like to start with, the sports side or your choice, the leisure side?
I'll go sports to start.
Major League Baseball, which includes some specific Royals questions, and then also Chiefs, Broncos, go UDFA yourself.
Let's try baseball.
All right. General baseball?
Yes.
All right. Starling Marte and Lane Thomas both have 4 outfield assists this year. Marte, though, is the active leader among outfielders in assists with 110. Can you name any of the next 5 players on the list after Starling Marte for outfield assists, active players in their career? Marte's number 1. Any of the next 5?
Lorenzo Cain?
No, active players.
Oh, active players.
Yep, active player. Yeah, Marte's the active leader with 110. I'll tell you, he's got a 30 outfield assist gap between him and the second most. But any of the next 5.
Trying to think.
There's a guy that does not play in the field much anymore because it's not his fault. There's a guy that plays in the dirt now for his team.
Also what I thought, too.
There's a guy that plays in the dirt now for his team, making a lot of money, but there's a guy that still plays in the outfield for the same team that one of the guys that moved to the dirt.
2 guys I feel like I know pretty well.
Oh, you know these guys? Pfft, bragger. Look at you. You hang out with them? Did they go to the game with you last night?
No.
Okay.
I got nothing. I'm drawing a blank. I'm sorry.
Darn it. All right. Mike, thank you for playing, man. I appreciate it. 913-381-810.
Damn, Darcy, that thing just sounded louder than normal.
Did you turn it all the way up?
That was a loud.
What do you got against Mike?
I just haven't used the buzzer in a while.
Maybe he's like, I don't know.
That itch.
What if Michael was like, I just hate guys that say Mike.
It's a
like your name is Michael. Like if your name's
get it right.
If your name's Michael, then go by Michael. If your name's Mike, I'm going to give you a loud buzzer.
Dude, if you have an itch, you have a medical issue. Go get it checked out, man.
Probably. Cajun next up on Sports Radio 810 WHB. Cajun, what side would you like to start with, sir?
Can we repeat the leisure first?
We have Cajun sayings for you.
What?
That's a lie. That's a lie.
It's an easy one.
Did you really come up with a Cajun saying just for Cajun?
Yeah, of course I did.
Oh, this is fun.
Okay, well, since you did that, let's do it.
It's easy, but
that would be funny, Cajun, if you were like, let me get riddles.
I thought about it earlier.
Don't do that one.
Of course not.
Don't do that. Are you going to go Bill Grigsby here?
Laissez le bon temps rouler.
Oh, let the good times roll.
Yeah, baby.
You want to hear a good, authentic one
Yes.
that we used to say?
Yes.
Las Palapatat.
The what now?
What that means?
Is that radio and
Las
school appropriate?
Palapatat.
What is
Las
it?
Palapatat.
Las Palapatat. I don't know if I just said anything that's not radio appropriate or not. I hope not.
No, that's fine.
What does it
means
mean?
Don't drop the potato.
Oh, yeah, that makes
yeah,
sense.
you don't want to drop the potato.
Nobody wants to drop
I think
the
they
potato.
asked where she
It's
writes
like,
that.
keep your powder dry, or don't take any wooden nickels.
Yeah, just like an old saying.
time Cajun say, don't drop the potato.
Don't drop
Las
the potato.
Palapatat.
Yeah.
There's a song about it. Google it. There's
Las
a song, Las
Palapatat.
Palapatat.
Las Palapatat.
All right.
There you go.
Las Palapatat, money.
All right. Well, we got sports side now, so Las Palapatat on your sports question.
Oh, let me lose the Major League Baseball question.
All right. The one that's out there or a fresh one?
Fresh one. I don't know that.
All right.
I mean, I knew it, but I forgot it.
Oh,
He talked about it when he just did it recently.
Definitely knew it
already.
at some point.
Yeah.
All right. So general baseball for you. Okay, let's go with this one. Bobby Witt won his third American League Player of the Week award. Since 2024, his 3 are tied for the second most in the AL. Can you name either the player he's tied with or the player with the most American League Player of the Week awards?
Well, with all the Yankee bias out there, I'll just say Aaron Judge.
Aaron Judge has the most with 6, and then Bobby Witt has 3. Tied with any guesses?
Question one more time. I was still not.
No, you're good. Bobby Witt, third American League Player of the Week award a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
Again, these were questions from last week. Since 2024, his 3 are tied for second in the American League. Name the player that's number 1 or tied with him at number 2. Aaron Judge has 6.
Yeah,
He's number
Aaron
1.
Judge,
so who else
obviously.
has 3 American League Player of the Week awards?
American
besides
League.
Robert Baseball Witt.
And so it can't be a pitcher. Obviously, it's a position player.
Position player.
Position player.
You asked? I thought I just got it right.
No, you did.
You did, but now I'm saying for S's and G's, who's the one? No, who's the one tied with Bobby? Just to see if you guys want to throw some guesses.
No, I don't remember that part. You're lucky I got the first one.
No, you got the first one. You nailed that one, and the right strategy too. The
I'm thinking
Yankee bias.
It could be
There is-
Jose Ramirez.
Jose Ramirez is correct.
It is correct. Okay,
Nice
yeah.
job, Aaron
Hey, good
Judge,
job.
and then Jose Ramirez and
guys-
Bobby Witt. Look at you.
I still remember when the guy made the Yankees thing, and for a long time, Poznansky, well, not Poznansky, the guy on Kornheiser.
Kornheiser?
Yeah, he for the longest time he would say Yankees. He laughed. For him, it was hilarious. I thought it was funny too. For a long time, I would say Yankees.
Anything that makes Yankees fans mad, I'm totally fine with it. Like Anthony Volpe last night challenging a pitch that was almost over the middle of the plate. Did you see that one? It was the worst challenge from a hitter this season by like an inch and a half.
No, I actually been mostly listening. I actually been listening on the radio more lately.
Yeah, sorry. I'm going to show Michael and Sterling the challenge from Anthony Volpe last night. Cajun, we'll put you on hold, get your information. Congratulations, sir. Well done.
Okay, I go by Michelle too, so it's not he hates Mike's because my name is Mike, but I go by Michelle. So
Okay, there you go.
I got a pass.
Michael, Michelle. Perfect.
Michelle.
You can go talk to our version of Michelle. Mike Aiel back there. Mike Gall.
I'm
Michael.
trying hard every Thursday.
Well, 1 out of every 5
Exactly.
for you, so it's kind of like Mike Gell. Good for you. Let's go to the phone lines, and it's one winner in a row. Let's see if we can get a streak going. John next up on Sports Radio 810 WHB. John, sports or leisure, what side would you like to start with?
Well, I'm running hard out of the box.
Yes.
And let's go with the sports question that's out there.
All right, Starling Marte, with his 4 assists this year, is tied with Lane Thomas for the second most in Major League Baseball, but no worry about that. He's the active leader among outfielders in assists with 110. Name any of the next 5 players on the list of active outfield assists.
Well, the one in the dirt now is Mookie Betts.
Mookie Betts is one of the ones in the dirt, but that is correct. Mookie Betts is tied for 1, 2, 3. It's tied for 5th.
Let me get. Bryce Harper, I assume, was the one.
Bryce Harper has 78. He is tied. He is third, all by himself.
Giancarlo Stanton.
Giancarlo Stanton has 69, tied with Mookie Betts.
Okay.
2 more.
2 more.
Both of these guys are in the grass. Not Rashee Rice, but
yeah, I'm trying to think of who's been around a while. Like someone like, but he never had a good arm. I'm thinking of like a Christian Yelich because he's been around for a long time, but he never had a good arm.
Both of these guys have been around for 10+ years.
Yeah, they would have to have been.
Let's see. No gold gloves for that guy, although a home run derby champion and a 3-time Silver Slugger, 2-time World Series winner. An MVP and a gold glove for this guy.
It wouldn't be, well, no, it wouldn't
Clemente Award, which is odd considering the team he played for. Not odd, but appropriate.
Is McCutchen?
Andrew McCutchen is number 2 with 79.
I was trying to think if he was still playing or if he retired.
He's with the Rangers.
And then I can't think of the other one.
Teoscar Hernandez.
I would not have got that one now.
Nope. The after Starling Marte's 110, second most active, McCutchen at 79, Harper 78, Hernandez 72, and then Betts and Stanton tied at 69. Nice. So only Hernandez and McCutchen can continue to get outfield assists. I guess Stanton sometimes plays out there. Regardless, Leisure with Sterling.
Riddles, commercial slogans, or we have a couple left and Got My Country On.
Oh, let's get my country on today.
All right. If you're going to play in Texas.
Got it. Oh, I didn't.
You got to have a fill in the band.
Okay,
yeah.
I didn't know if it was like finished that
But who
lyric.
sings that?
Oh, gosh.
I don't know.
That's it's a group. It's a group. Oh. Oh gosh.
That lead guitar's hot tonight.
Alabama.
That's Alabama.
Yeah.
Roll Tide, baby.
There you go. Roll Tide, Alabama.
You nailed it.
Nice job. That's a winner, right?
That's a winner.
Cool. Put you on hold and get your information. Congratulations, John. Well done, buddy.
Thank you, guys.
Absolutely. 913-381-1010 is the phone number. 913-38 in the control room. Just go in that next door that's open. That next door that's open. There you go. Right there. There's an entry. Right there. Good job. Way to go. Just chill in there for a while. 913-381-1010. Let's go to Charles next up on Sports Radio 810 WHB. Charles, sports or leisure, what side would you like to start with, sir?
Sports. Let's do some Royal specific.
All right, Royal specific. Let's go with this one. This one was out last week, and it was a fun one. It was said a few times on the air here, and I think it was part of the program as well. But Bobby Witt's errorless streak came to a close last Tuesday night at 70 games at shortstop. Who holds the Royals' record for most consecutive games at shortstop without an error? It is a guy who, the 76 games, this may be a good enough hint, because Sterling joked about it, but he was correct. The 76 games in a row at shortstop happened over a 3-year span, because for this guy, that's all the games he was healthy for.
Ooh. 76 in a row?
76 in a row that he played. He didn't play 76 games in a row, I don't think, ever in his career. But it's a recent one, and a fun one, considering that. But
it's not Unieski Betancourt.
It is not.
Yeah.
You're right about that.
Yeah.
A lot of people would have guessed Betancourt or Angel Baroa.
Yeah, I think
it's not Baroa. It's not Neffy. Nope.
But you said it's recent?
Yep, recent. About as recent as it can get, not named Bobby.
All-time airless, 76 games in a row?
At shortstop.
Wow.
And it took him a number of years. And it took him a number of years to get that 76.
76 without an error.
Mm-hmm. Took him a while to get it. And he's the most recent one that could have got it before Bobby. Throw a dart. What do you say? Recent guy? Shortstop? Somehow did all those games without an error?
Alberto Mondesi.
Yes, it's Alberto Mondesi. That is correct. Somehow, Alberto Mondesi played 76 games in a Royals uniform. Oh, I mean, sorry. Played 76 games at shortstop consecutively without committing an error.
It was all chopped up, too.
Yep, absolutely. There you go. So over 3 years, he was able to do that. And he was the most recent one that could have done that, not named Bobby Witt, because Eventually, they moved Bobby Witt to short and decided that Mondesi was not the future.
Thank goodness.
At shortstop. Over to Leisure with Sterling.
Commercial slogans, got my country on, or riddles?
Let's do commercial slogans.
All right, commercial slogans. Let your fingers do the walking.
Let your fingers do the walk.
I don't know who sang that. I'll be honest with you.
Slogan, Bubba.
Sorry, I was looking at something else. Let your fingers... Oh! Nope. Yes.
You don't say it.
No. Yep, I know it. The Kambuchi girl.
We're kind of going back in the day for let your fingers do the walking.
Correct.
He is going back in the day.
I want to say Yellow Pages.
I want to say you're correct.
Yeah, buddy.
Yellow Pages.
Wow.
Let your fingers do the walking.
Walking all over to those businesses. Who are you going to call? Who are you going to call, huh?
Ghostbusters, actually.
That's probably not what you would call
Put
it.
on a phone book, driving down the street.
There you go. Nice job. All right, Charles, we'll put you on hold, get your information. Congratulations, sir. Well done.
Winner, winner, Donnie's Tavern Dinner.
Yes, sir. 913-381-0810. We'll take a timeout, come back, continue rolling more zone. More sports or leisure presented by Johnny's Tavern. $25 we give away. We continue with at least another segment of that next.
You're in the zone with Jason Anderson on Sports Radio 810 WHB.
Hey Kansas City, it's Brian Pringle with Victory Ford at the Legends in KCK. We're proud to celebrate 10 years of doing business the right way, making the car buying journey fun, easy, and
All right, playing for $25 to Johnny's Tavern, 913-381-810, a little sports or leisure. Get them both right, you win $25 to Johnny's Tavern. Get either of them wrong, Michael gets your gift card. That's the way we play. You know what? That's just what happens. Category reset on the sports side, Major League Baseball. We also have a couple of Royals-specific Major League Baseball questions. Chiefs, Broncos, and then also go UDFA yourself. What about on the leisure side, Sterling?
Riddles, commercial slogans, and we have 2 left and got my country on.
All right, there you go. We've got full board, 913-381-810. Reed's Nuggies next up to play a little sports or leisure. What's up, Nuggies?
Just another beautiful day.
It is beautiful. You know what? The sun will come out at some point over the next few days, but it's a nice day. It's better than 110 degrees, I'll say that.
That is true.
Yep,
that is
that's
true.
right. What side do you think you want to start with, bud?
Chiefs criminal records.
Let's see. Do I have one that also is connected with Chiefs and Broncos?
I was really looking forward to a junior C of E question. Anyway.
Yes, that would have been funny. That would have been great. Should have had one ready to go just in case. You know what? Maybe I do that next week. Maybe Chiefs that have served us a stretch.
No, I'll do Chiefs Broncos.
Chiefs Broncos. Okay. Let's see. Which one do I like here? These are recycled from last year, so maybe you got one of these. Who knows? Let's go. An unlikely Madden cover player. He barely gained over 700 yards rushing in his 3 combined seasons between Kansas City and Denver. The short 2 years in Cleveland is where most remember him from. That, and as random of a Madden cover selection there ever may be.
It's Sterling's bicep goals, Peyton Hillis.
Peyton Hillis. That is correct. Peyton Hillis. What Sterling continues when he looks at the beach muscles, that's what he's imagining his look like.
Strong, yeah.
That's right. Sun's out, guns out. Only Sterling's shooting blanks on the arms. On the arms is what I'm saying. Compared to Peyton Hillis. Over to leisure with Sterling.
Commercial slogans. Got my country on. Riddles.
I'll get my country on.
All right. Hey, good looking. What you got cooking?
How about some cooking up some Johnny's Tavern for me and Hank Williams?
That is Hank Williams.
I love it. Nice job,
Way
Hank
to not add the junior. Proud of you.
Right, nice job, yes. Because Junior would have been wrong. You know what I mean?
Would have been wrong.
Yeah, because it wasn't him. It wasn't his son.
He may have covered it, but anyway.
I would have accepted Junior. Reed's Nuggies. Nuggies will put you on hold and get your information. Congratulations. Well done, sir.
Thank you.
Absolutely. 913-381-810, $25. Johnny's Tavern, heading his way, where he could probably get some Nuggies.
Probably good.
I don't know if he'll get Reed's Nuggies, but he could probably order some Nuggies there. Or if he gets some strips, you can cut them into Nuggies. You know what I mean? 913-381-810. Let's go to T-Box next up on Sports Radio 810 WHB. T-Box, what's going on, brother? Welcome to the show. What side do you want to start with?
Well, how about slogans? Since you don't have any Volga German sayings for a Western Kansas man.
Not right now. Not this week, at least.
Yeah, not this week. Maybe German sayings will be next one.
Yeah.
Ask Shane. He'll know.
It keeps going and going and going and going.
Oh, that's got to be the Energizer Bunny, right?
It is. Nailed it.
It is the Energizer Bunny. It's not even the Energizer batteries. It's specifically
the bunny.
Only the bunny.
The bunny, yeah.
Yeah,
Crazy.
the batteries end up stopping at some point, but the bunny just continued to keep rolling out there. On to the sports side, we have Major League Baseball questions, a couple of Royals specific along the way. We also have Chiefs Broncos, and if you want to, you can go UDFA yourself.
I'll go with Major League Baseball.
All right. Just general Major League Baseball for you?
Yeah, old, if possible.
Yeah, let's see. Well, old is a relative term, but this guy certainly is, comparatively speaking to others that are playing. Seth Lugo recorded his 1,000th strikeout last week. He's one of 46 active players with at least 1,000 strikeouts. Name all 46. No, I'm joking. Who has the most?
Most
Most strikeouts of active players. Like I said, it's not an old question, but this guy is pretty old, relatively speaking, to other current players.
Verlander's got to be up there without question.
Is that your final answer?
Yeah, I'll go with Verlander.
Verlander is correct. Verlander, 3,554 strikeouts. Lugo is only 2,550 away from Verlander for the active lead for strikeouts. Nice job.
You know, one thing Verlander will never get is 300 wins. Let Petro know the payoff is that.
We'll see. I don't know. I think he's trying. I think he may just pitch until he does. He may throw left-handed if he has to try to get some wins. I don't know that he can get 5 innings, but maybe if he comes out of the bullpen with tie game or something like that, or with a lead and gives up the lead and they score, then he can just start collecting wins that way. Don't always have to be as a starter, you know.
Absolutely.
T-Box will put you on hold and get your information. Congratulations. Well done, sir.
Love you guys.
Absolutely.
Oh, we love you.
Feeling is mutual. You know what I mean? It's all feeling on all this side of the table as well. Let's go to Tim next up on Sports Radio 810 WHB. Tim, sports or leisure, what side do you want to start with?
Remind me the sports.
Yep. We have Major League Baseball with some in there that are Royals specific. We have Chiefs and Broncos, which are players that played for both the Chiefs and the Broncos. And you can also go UDFA yourself, which is just undrafted free agents that played for the Chiefs, UDFAs.
Would the Chiefs-Broncos connection be any of the previous ones you've had in the not too
Probably.
recent past?
I'll be honest with you. I didn't spend any time on this last Wednesday. I was doing
you might
mainly
have a few
mainly
recycled,
MLB questions.
recycled.
So I did recycle
Let's
these.
start with the leisure, actually, with the commercial slogans.
Yeah. I'll think of more Broncos before the first game of the season, but
Australian for beer.
Oh, yes.
Foster's Lager.
Yes, it is. Foster's Australian for beer.
The oil can. Yes.
Yeah,
there you go.
That was horrible. I remember one of the first beers I ever had. Gross. I was like,
Is it gross?
well, when you're
It's awesome.
when you're just turned 21.
Yeah. Okay. Well done. Well, as a 21-year-old,
Yeah.
that's for sure. Not as on my Sweet 16 birthday. No. All right, on the sports side, we do have Royals. We have general Major League Baseball. We have Chiefs, Broncos, and go UDFA yourself.
Let's go Royals.
All right, good for you.
Like
Royals.
a cheer I used to hear.
Yeah, no. I appreciate it. Royals for you. I don't know. I kind of feel mean a little bit here, but fun at the same time. Can you be mean and fun at the same time? If you can.
I do it every day.
If you can, that's what I'm going to be. Yeah. Here we go. Carter Jensen has 9 home runs in his first 58 career games as a rookie Royal. Okay? That's the 6th most by a Royals rookie in the first 60 games of their rookie, time with the Royals. Not rookie year, because sometimes it's over the end of the season, beginning of the next one, but you get it. Which player in their first 60 games has the most home runs for a Royals rookie with 14?
Gosh, takes me back to potentially a strike-shortened season, so I didn't know if they made it to 60 games.
It wasn't. It wasn't Hammer. It wasn't. I'll tell you, it's been since old Robert Hammer.
Well,
and I will tell you, this guy's still playing. Not for the Royals, but he is still playing. And like I said, it's fun and also kind of mean in that I'm asking you this because it's not that easy, but it's fun when you hear the answer that the guy's still playing. 14 home runs in his first 60 games.
He's obviously not still playing with us.
Nope, he is not a Royal. He is still playing. Where did he sign with in the off season? I got to go and look. I should know it off the top of my head where he went.
14.
But he got some. He got a pretty decent chunk of change. Let's say that.
Not Soler.
Nope. Because it would have had to be a rookie. He went to the National League. Well, he got traded in midseason to the National League last year, and then stayed in the National League as a free agent. But he was in the American League.
Last year.
Yep, last year he was traded at the trade deadline, not from the Royals.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Another trade from one National League team to
Yeah,
another.
and then this past off season, he was a free agent, and let's see, he got he got $29 million. Good for him, dude. That is awesome. Of course, he had made $8 million last year. He made a total of $1.8 million with the Royals, and he's
played
been
more
good.
than a few years if he was playing as a rookie salary initially. So
Yeah, he had a total of 342 games in a Royals uniform. 14 home runs in his first 60. All right, throw a dart. That's a lot of hints. Throw a dart. What do you think?
Why am I blanking on recent Royals power hitter?
Well, yeah. You'd be blanking on this one because he became the ire of a lot of fans' frustration. And clearly it was misplaced because look what he's done since then. What do you say? 10 seconds. Throw a dart.
Oh, man.
Come on.
I should get this.
Yep, you should. 10 seconds. Michael's buzzing you.
I deserve that.
Tim, I appreciate it, man. Thank you, sir. 913-381-810. Let's bring in Charles to the game. Sports or leisure, Charles, what side would you like to start with?
I've already been on, and I've been on hold for like 20 minutes, and I won.
Oh, my goodness. Sorry about that, Charles. We will put you on hold. But you know what? In Darcy's defense, he has a couple of interns back there that he's working with. So in Darcy's defense, he's wearing a few hats right now, buzzing, answering the phones, helping some interns, doing some of those things, loading the commercial breaks.
A top hat.
So there you go.
All good.
Charles
All
will put you on hold. Hey, you know what, Charles? Congratulations, man. Well done.
Hey, I won twice.
Nice job. We'll put you on hold. And with that, you know what? Let's call it a break at that point. We'll come back, 913-381-810. We'll come back with maybe a little more sports or leisure if we have some time. 913-381-810. More Zone next. All right, wrapping things up here on this Thursday edition. Played a little Sports or Leisure, $25 to Johnny's Tavern in Sports or Leisure. Any questions you did not get answers to, Sterling?
Every single one.
Oh, you didn't get answers to any of your questions?
They got everyone right because...
Oh, I see. It was the opposite of what you were saying with every single one is not what you were looking for.
Kind of.
I had one question that I did not get an answer to, and I said it was fun and mean at the same time.
Yeah.
Fun in the answer you wouldn't expect it to be, but mean because it was also kind of a difficult question. I asked you in the break, and you're so stupid you didn't get it.
No, I got there.
Yeah, once I gave you every single hint possible. No, the answer to the Royals' rookie record for home runs in their first 60 games, since Carter Jensen has 9 in his first 60, 14 home runs his first 60 games, Ryan O'Hearn, baby. Ryan freaking O'Hearn.
Bro Hearn.
And he was a guy that people were so annoyed with that played and was the shining example of what's wrong with the organization, that this guy is actually being played. And, of course, he wasn't the issue. It was the organization. That was the issue because all he did was leave the Royals and, let's see, OPS at 800 with the Orioles for 3 years. Then get traded to the Padres and OPS at 740 in his 50 games, and then signing the 2-year, $30 million deal with the Pirates, and he's OPSing at 830 this year. O'Hearn is batting .290 and getting on base at .370. Man, that'd be nice to have him in right field.
Or at first base.
Or at first, yeah, either one of them, or DH. Nah, he sucks. He's the problem. Hey, it's him. He's the problem. It's him. Let's play this clip if we can. I wanted to play. I've heard some people having some chuckles, having some ha-has, some laughs, some funny skis at the expense of one Joseph Burrow. And I just simply disagree with the thought around it. So the question is included with the answer for Joe Burrow. And take a listen. Here was the press conference Joe Burrow had yesterday before Bengals OTAs started.
Talk about the idea of trying to elevate the Bengals onto a bigger platform during the course of your career. Do you think that the Bengals are in a better spot now than they were years ago, and how much more work is there to go in that?
Definitely. I think the number one thing is you have to win. And we're going to go win a lot of games this year and play great and win a Super Bowl, and everything that comes with that comes with that.
I actually want my quarterback to say that.
Yeah, what's he going to say?
Like, I want my and people are like, oh, he's winning a Super Bowl. So Joe Burrow is guaranteed they're winning the Super Bowl. He has already called it. Okay, I guess the Chiefs don't exist, or the Bills don't exist, or the Ravens, or anything. I'm like, I want my quarterback to say that. Like, has my time in this city elevated this franchise? Yeah, I think it has. Obviously went to a Super Bowl. But the job's not done. You got to win games to keep doing that. We're going to win a lot of games this year, win a Super Bowl. And when that happens, whatever happens or whatever the results are the results with that. I want my quarterback I want Patrick Mahomes to say, yeah, we're going to go out and win games and win a Super Bowl. Because that's the goal every year. But it's Burrow. If it was Mahomes, it would be like, oh, yeah, of course, that's the goal every year. If it was Stafford, like, yeah, that's the goal every year. If it was Allen, I think there'd be some jokes. And Burrow, there's some jokes, but at least one of them has played in the Super Bowl before. Yeah, so I actually, I defend him on that. That I want my quarterback to say that.
What's he going to say? Yeah, we're going to go 7-10 this year. We're going to miss the playoffs. I'm going to get injured again. Yeah,
no, I haven't helped elevate this franchise at all. I know that there was that drought of going to a Super Bowl before I got here, and helped lead us there. But I don't think it's elevated the conversation around the Bengals. I mean, this Bengals team went to the playoffs like 7 years in a row with Lovey, or not Lovey, but. Not the Bears and Bucks, but
Marv Lewis.
Marv Lewis, thank you.
Yeah,
Lovey went to a Super Bowl. Lovey actually had some more success there than old Marv Lewis and his Pac-Man Jones, who was just being rebellious. Rebellion.
He was just being
rebellion. Yeah. He's absolutely elevated the franchise.
It's no sin to go to the script club.
That's true.
There's nowhere in the Bible so you can't go to script club.
That's
I was
exactly
just
right.
being rebellion.
Just being rebellion.
In fairness, I think you should use that for everything.
Just being rebellion?
Being rebellion, or that it's no sin to do that, even though I don't. It might be.
Yeah.
That might be one of the ones.
It's a great line.
It's
It's great. Just be in rebellion.
I was just being rebellion.
I mean, everybody.
I love when I asked him. I said, "That's my favorite quote you ever had." Was that? I go, "What's your favorite Pac-Man Jones quote?" And he gave me like a Bible verse, and I was like, I was like, "Pac-Man."
That's not your quote.
After
you didn't say that.
After you just basically cussed out, was it Ocho Cinco's? He beefed with the Ocho. It was a wild interview with him.
Oh, man.
Shocking no one, I think.
Yeah. Like, what's your favorite quote of
yours?
Well, let me give you this Bible. You quoted that? I thought that was from the Bible. What are the odds?
It was in
Must
Genesis.
be the new version. Must be the new version there. All right, thank you to Johnny's Tavern, as always. $25 we give away. Premier Sports Bar in Kansas City, Lawrence, and Topeka, 10 area locations, and the home of the KU Coaches Show. Coach Fitz the other day had the Coaches Show right here on Sports Radio 810 WHB, getting ready for the Big 12 tournament. The old numero uno. A hell of a season for them. Great season for a lot of local colleges as well. So there you go. Swim Petro's up next. Game 2, Cavs and Knicks tonight right here on Sports Radio 810 WHB.